Greg is now recording.
Hey, baby girl.
Hey, baby girl. How you doing,
Craig, why
Greg?
does Craig, why does Ellie call you baby girl?
Let's stop talking for a while. All right. Last time, in game, we started with two of our detectives captured, and Cal trying to negotiate their release. Fish managed to reach their dad, who taught them a little bit about their power, including ability to connect and sort of manipulate the connections between loved ones and other people you have like some sort of bond with, whether that's positive or negative. And Fish successfully used that to, a sort of magical sympathy, stretch out um, the magical nullification effects of the cage to a bunch of other people temporarily, stressing the effect too far and causing it to break and allow them to escape. Um, May grappled with the question of joining the Second Dawn and whether it was the right thing to do, while also keeping private the information that only she knows, that the ampule is somewhere in the sanctuary or its environs, at least. Um, uh, Meanwhile, Fish was far more open with their revelation that uh, former Grand Mage Crown is a reflection and has possibly been for the entire time. Um, as they were escaping, and after getting to something of an understanding, or at least a mutual respect, with Celeste and the Second Dawn, uh, it turned out that some of their guests, the members of this other cell that had been seemingly not obeying Celeste's orders and keeping it secret, were in fact all reflections planted by the benefactor to interfere with the Second Dawn's activities, and now facing discovery, decided to kill the Second Dawn and also their two captives. Um, Caligulus unknowingly used this attack to infiltrate the Second Dawn's base, and with a sort of enemies of my enemies is my friends mentality, the Second Dawn accepted the detective's help in fighting off this attack. Although, with the Second Dawn reeling from this attack, Nine missing, having been last seen fighting some reflections, and Celeste now having to reckon with the fact that yeah, parts of her organization may have been used for a purpose she does not agree with. Um, she has now let the party go to focus on keeping peace and keeping potentially the ampule out of the hands of the benefactor. Um, but um, Yeah, you did latch onto that assumption without cause. You what you did was you built a ampule finder, and then uh, turned on the ampule finder without any of the range extenders. So it was like a, I don't know, like a Google Maps that was like all the way zoomed in, and it's like it's showing it's right here on top of us. Obviously that's wrong, but um But yes, the the ampule is possibly in the sanctuary or very close to it. Um, and with that, making their escape sort of battered and bruised and very tired, our party withdrew from the Second Dawn's base at a temporary stalemate, having not accomplished their mission, but also gotten out alive, which, given the revelations of the bigger picture things that may be happening, is probably the best for the best. Um, as they headed back towards town, May, who had made arrangements to meet up with Celeste after things were a little more settled, called Sinner in order to arrange a meeting, and is generally speaking just a little shaken by things that have happened, as well as her faith in sort of the sanctuary system. At the same time, there was a lot of background information. It seems like Freya and some of her staff are dealing with a situation back up north and need their scythes back. And it seems like Goaf and Jaw are indisposed at the moment, or at least not responding to May's messages. As you all drove back to the train station and then jumped on the train. Technically, it is not a long enough to be a long rest. It's entirely possible. I mean, honestly, get the creative juices flowing. Um, um, Although it is not technically long enough for a long rest, I would say you all get a long rest if you get on the train and essentially pass out and don't do anything major work-wise on that trip back. So as we open on the train rumbling down the tracks through the trees of northern Washington. Can you hear the sound, by the way? Yes? Okay, good. I'm not hearing it, so I need to fix that. You go from very keyed up to it's sort of shutting down in the moment. Finding that all of the energy, all of the tension and suddenly you have nothing to do but be with your own thoughts. I'll just pass out after a hard night's work. Or it is now the early morning, coming into the late morning, as you arrive back in Canada, back in technically your jurisdiction. As the train comes to a stop, and other early morning passengers start exiting, very, very slow, mostly empty train this early. Uh, Mercy shoves you all awake in your seats, and it is time to depart.
Hmm. Is it like get the fuck off the train right now?
This is not the last stop of this train line, so you do have, a couple minutes to disembark, but you do gotta get off. It's kind of like that thing about like groggily coming to a wakefulness, but it's like you gotta move.
Right. Okay. Well then fish will say their thing out on the platform, I suppose. Yep, they're just like, yep, cool, getting ready, going out.
All right. As you gather up your things, perhaps still a little dirty from the hike through the woods of around Monmouth. You find yourself at a train station, the same one you came in through in Willoughby, out in the suburbs of Vancouver. And as you head out to the platform, you can see in the small attached parking lot a young man who is kind of stimming, just kind of bouncing very nervously, standing in the parking lot next to uh, two cars and just kind of looking back and forth. And you're like, okay, well, the suspicious guy is probably a mage, and those are probably our cars. But you do have a moment to settle yourself and get your things together as you are now on the platform, and the train starts pulling away.
Fish takes the opportunity to make sure that everyone is listening, please, but addresses Mercy, like, like kind of puts the hand on her shoulder and goes,
Yeah,
"Hey,
Fish, what's up?
Merce, Garth would vouch for you, right?"
I mean, I would assume. I've known Arcanus Goph a long time, I guess. We never worked particularly closely together, but I would assume so.
Okay, it's just that's how I know if we can trust you.
Okay. I mean, I think you can trust me because we're coworkers and we've done a lot of good work together. But yeah, sure. Fish? What do you need?
Listen, we're cracking down on the Sanctuary Mall, but it requires
Okay.
privacy and patience on everyone's part. So
All
just
right.
have faith in us. And if you don't, at least have faith in the other detectives team. And so what I'm asking of you is don't mention Crown to anyone, please. And I'd like to argue that I'm rolling persuasion with advantage because everyone is looking at her like, you're gonna do it, right?
Cal does that, but first, before looking at Fish and being like, "You created your own problem, dipshit," and that is like, but yeah, do that.
I'd say
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I will say everybody's looking at Mercy, but more than 50% of the people are scythes, just standing there stoically waiting for more orders, so it doesn't have as much weight as your gaze would like. I'd say just roll straight.
Cool.
16.
Okay, 16. Mercy just kind of runs her fingers through her hair and is like, yeah, you really think Brown is involved?
Yeah, I do.
Shit. I mean, it's like, it's almost his sanctuary, you know? He founded it. But,
Not his anymore.
yeah. Damn.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can keep that quiet for now.
Thanks. This is, it's for the good of the sanctuary and fucking all magic kind, really. I'm not bullshitting you, Mercy. So thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your trust.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go see what the Twitchy guy wants, because that is not the person who dropped us off, and we have drivers, so something's probably up.
Yep.
Um, you head out of the train station to find this guy. He starts waving you down, and even though you're looking at him and making eye contact, he's still waving like you didn't see him. You come up to find what is very clearly, you've kind of seen the type in and around the sanctuary. This is not the one who was there earlier, but this is some sort of administrative assistant for the sub sanctuary. Somebody who probably doesn't go outside that often, but it keeps things ticking along. And this guy says, "Hello. Your your detectives, Ness. I hope everything went well. I hope you got the bad people, bad person. Hello. I am here to transport you back to the sub sanctuary. Unfortunately, I have orders from Sub Administrator Solwyn. We need our scythes back rather quickly. We need to split them off and head up towards Vancouver, the North Coast, immediately, please.
By all means, take them. They are yours after all. Hey guys, you're all ready to get back on the job? Yeah, sure you are. Tell me, is there something that you'd require our assistance for up in Vancouver?
I don't really know. I'm just kind of passing the message along. There have been some problems. There's been this sort of movement for a little while now around some people about kind of this area kind of splitting off and joining with Oregon and Washington in the U.S. and being Cascadia, its own sanctuary thing. Nobody ever really took it seriously, but now they're taking it very seriously. And there has been some trouble. Things are escalating in some way that Sub Administrator Solwyn needs to handle it personally. And since we only had 2 sides left, pretty much her and all of her staff are in northern Vancouver right now, trying to keep things settled. I would assume that if you would like to help, she would welcome the help. But of course, you get your orders from the sanctuary itself, and so you probably need to check in or something of that nature. Being detectives.
We certainly do, and we certainly shall.
Okay, that is great. I will just have our sides. Yeah, we can leave 2 of them with you as an escort back to the back to the substation if you would like. No one's really there right now, but oh, and I can come with you because I'll be keeping things running. I can drive. I think. We can take 1 car, and the Scythe can take the other car up to Scythe Captain. Yes. Please report to and that he lifts off an address in Vancouver, and the Scythe Captain kind of like looks at you and then looks at a paper that he's holding out that's clearly like official designation, and then he salutes, and most of the sides break off to take this van away. This assistant is like, all right, I'll take you back, assuming none of you want to drive, because I can drive, I think.
I was gonna nudge Mercy and quietly say, "This man is who he claims to be, correct?"
Mercy is just basically having this whispered conversation with you as you're walking out to the parking lot. She's like, "Yeah, he's always like this." Although I'm a little concerned about Freya, having a bunch on her plate.
Just wanted to make sure everything checked out in the medical way.
I mean, is it possible he's some kind of like deep cover person working with Crown? Maybe. Could we take him? Undoubtedly. In a moment. Look at him. He looks squishy, you know? Yeah, anyway, I can drive if you don't want this guy driving. Or maybe
Have
we
you
just relax.
experienced with his role?
I didn't know that he could drive until he met us here, and I assumed he couldn't, so I'm a little concerned. The cars don't seem damaged, so I don't think he got in an accident on the way here, but I know I'm a good driver, so
Are you
uh,
tired?
I'm all right.
Then I would have you drive, if you
All
would
right.
not mind.
Yeah, Jake, I'll get the keys. I'll take that, and we'll drive up. You just get in the back, bud. Um, as you pile into the car and it starts up, um, there is like some nervous tension that goes out of this guy after he's like accomplished his task and is going back to functionally his office. As you're driving along on the way to the sanctuary substation, which is like, 10, 15 minutes, maybe as much as 20 in bad traffic. Not a particularly long or intensive drive. Mercy at the wheel. He says, so how do you do that, by the way? Check in and whatever, like you choose your missions, or
Do you intend on becoming a detective at any point, young man?
I mean, that is kind of a dream. Maybe it's not particularly realistic, but it seems like a lot of adventure. It seems exciting.
Oh, it is, and I love to hear that. Like, we are always looking for new talent. Perhaps
That's great.
like maybe a car ride isn't the perfect spot for an introduction, but we can give you more details. Like, once we're back at the substation, of course. And May, you're a deputy of ours, so there's no reason why we couldn't have another, perhaps at some point in the future.
That would be that would be really excellent. Yeah. We can talk back at the substation. I've got some things to do, but they can be on hold for just a little bit. As long as I've got the comm in, so I can talk to sub administrator Solwyn when she needs my help. As during this car ride, as well as kind of the end of the train ride, as the communications person, has May been like trying to check in with anyone or report about the mission, either to the substation or to the main sanctuary?
Yeah, I think they would, but it would be very bare bones. Like, basically just checking in, like, we've arrived, we're on the move with whatever the administrator's name is. Yeah, she'd just be doing very basic, like, updates.
Okay. When do you do that? In the car ride or sort of late train?
I think as they were walking out into the parking lot while Mercy and Cal were talking, May would have been, like, doing that. And then once they're in the car on the way, like, pulled out proper, May would be trying again to be, like, on the move, etc.
As you are checking in to give this report, you find that there's no answer, and there's no one, picking up the phone, so to speak, for your report. Usually, you go through the dispatch agent to make sure you are who you say you are and everything's kosher, and pass along information to the relevant parties. But no. And give me an Arcana check.
Yep. That is 6. May's distracted.
Yeah, May is very distracted.
May's going through it.
It just seems like it's not getting through in the way of like, it's not like a phone ringing off the hook. It's like a phone trying to dial a number that doesn't exist. Like, it's not even connecting.
Okay. Okay. So once Fish finishes their little spiel, so what was this guy's name? Do we actually even have his name?
Mercy called him Jake.
Jake. Okay.
Yeah.
Once Fish finishes their spiel to Jake,
Well, then they're
May's-
not done in the
they're
general
not done?
sense of the bit. But go on.
oh no, May will just wait. Like, this is the thing, right?
No, they're done talking now. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. She's going to clear her throat and say, Mr. Jake, is there some sort of, I don't know, anti-communication symbols on this car? I can't connect with with Freya's, with the hub.
Oh, no, we don't. We don't have the money or the staff to maintain anti-communication symbols on the car. Actually, this car is a rental. The other car is the one that the sanctuary owns and maintains. No, I just assume it's because all the sanctuary communication is down. You can. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not know that? Yeah, we've been. They were having some problems when we were last talking with them. Sub Administrator Solwyn was calling in about the issues in Vancouver and giving updates and stuff. And there was kind of like a weird interference, and things kind of kept cutting in and out, and there was a lot of issues, and then just eventually just kind of like line dead. And we haven't been able to check in with them. We know that they're the Arcanists are working on some kind of big project over there, so we're kind of assuming maybe there's interference or something like that. And we've checked in with the other substation, and they also can't reach the sanctuary. But I assume for the detectives, that's not a problem. You've got a lot of cool things, right? So you can call directly.
Mr. Jake, when did the communications go down?
Kind of spotty, like starting like maybe like 6-7 hours ago, and then sort of like out totally like 2-ish hours ago, maybe. I can probably tell you more like definitely once we get back and I look at my notes and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of why Sub Administrator Solwyn was like, I need my scythes back now. Go to the train station and get them. Don't let them come back to the substation first, because they're kind of like in trouble without orders. Kind of like not getting as much direction about how to handle things as the council wants. So.
Right. Mr. Jake, you said that the Arcanists were working on a solution. How do you know they're working on a solution? Was this before, when the communication was just a bit spotty?
Oh,
Who told you?
I was talking to the dispatch agent, which is Agent Hedge, and he just said something like, "Oh, the communications being bad again. Maybe it's something those Arcanists are doing or something." Just kind of like complaining. So I don't know that they're like trying to fix it, although I assume so, because communications it's kind of important, and we're kind of stuck out on our own here. I assume they're trying to fix it, but it sounded like they had like a project, or maybe they like broke something, or I don't really know what kind of goes on in the main sanctuary, because I'm all the way out here, which is fine. But yeah, that's
Just talks over him. Maybe it's the that sort of experimental generator that they were working on. Wink. Obviously, you understand I'm talking about the fucking ampule device. We're not saying it in front of this fucker.
Yeah,
experimental generator. That's very cool.
And
Where's
also opportunity for a joke. I'm so sorry, Ellie. But Fish, all hearing about like the blackout about 6 hours ago, and I had that thought that only blackout drunks and Steve Urkel can have. Did I do
Did
that?
I do that? Yeah.
Yeah, go
Um,
on.
let's see. Did you you didn't have a direct connection with Jamal,
No.
who would have been in the sanctuary. So it's possible you have something to do with it, but it doesn't. You can't like say that for sure.
What's the exact time? Okay, sorry, Patrick. When the power went out, or even when it began to be spotty, what were we doing at that time?
When it started to get spotty was about when you were getting on the train. We'll say.
And when did May get the message from Goff again?
Maybe
Okay.
like 45 minutes before the power started going spotty, or at least other people knew the power was spotty. Again,
Yep.
Jake did say like, "Oh, we're having trouble with it still," or something, like as if, he checked in and had problems, but they had been dealing with it maybe for a little bit longer.
Yeah, but it's not like a recurring, like, this is a year-long thing that they're constantly. This is, like, fresh. Yeah.
Nope.
Cool. All right. May doesn't even
And-
look at Fish when Fish does the nudge and is just like, poker face staring dead ahead.
Is Fish at all like worried or nervous or thinking about this issue?
No.
Okay.
They're too high on the victory, what they consider a victory with the second
That's
gun.
okay.
We're like, we worked that shit out.
Yeah, that's okay. Then the car pulls up outside this sort of decommissioned weather station, large radar antenna on top, strapped with various magical devices, and bring the car ride to a close as Mercy parks. Jake pops out and holds the door for the other detectives, and you find yourself back here.
And so is it so it's not just Jake that you're not a I mean, I am a single name person, but are you?
Oh, like a like a mononym? No, no.
That's the one.
No, no. I'm Jake Eloquentius. Yeah, happy to make your acquaintance, Detective Fish. And yeah, why don't we could we like step inside and then maybe we can talk about that deputy thing, because I have a
Well-
lot to offer.
That's exactly why I was asking, because I can't very well be calling you Deputy Jake, can I?
I mean, you could if you wanted to.
I might want to.
Okay.
May's already walking inside. She's just right through them.
Yep. Go in.
Cal follows after May and, having completely ignored this nonsense, like grabs her by the arm and is just like, "Let me know if there's anything I can help you with."
Sorry, to May?
Mhm.
May freezes for just a second and then will just kind of like look at Cal and nod and then gently shrug Cal off and then keep walking. May's heading straight for Freya.
Okay. You get into the sanctuary substation, and Freya isn't here. She's off dealing with this emergency. You can see that there is actually no one that was here while you were gone. It seems like the person holding down the fort was Jake, and he had to go pick you up. So it is now staffed because Jake is here, and also the two sides you brought with you.
Okay. Can I roll perception to see if there's any indication of exactly what's going on?
Sure. Yeah, what are you trying to figure out exactly?
Jake kind of seems like he's got no fucking clue what's happening with Freya. May wants to know if there's like any documents, any like I don't know machine readouts, something like to. Yeah,
I'd say
get up
that's
to
an
speed.
investigation check.
Okay. That is an 11.
With an 11, Jake didn't have time to like clean up or put away documents properly when he left. So there are some documents strewn around. You see some reports that you just skim really fast. That seems like people causing trouble. Some unknown actors who have been showing up on the scene and talking shit about how we're so far from the sanctuary. What do they know about the culture out here? We've got more in common with these states than we do our sanctuary. We should have our own thing, stuff like that. Of this kind of like it just like background info on this conflict that's taking place. For machine readouts, this is something of a communication hub for the area. And with an 11, but your expertise, you can kind of see that like the communication like board is kind of sorted down. It's working, but only a little bit. And when you came through here, it was all lit up. Now it's got like 4 lights on.
Is it clear what the 4 lights are connected to, or if they are? Do you know what I mean? Like, are they lines?
Yeah.
Or...
It's essentially anything having to either with an 11 anything having to do with the sanctuary itself or that is routed through the sanctuary is out, but there is a direct line to the other sanctuary substation, which is in Winnipeg, and there is some like local lines that are still up, so whatever the problem is not on this end.
Okay.
Cal is going to come up to May and she's going to go, I do still have the direct line to my abbot. He may be able to reach the sanctuary through his means or even approaching on foot.
Well, then first of all, can I have my son? He's been sitting in your robes for the whole car ride, and I would like to cuddle him.
Cal's like, oh, forgets about him and they're like big sleeve.
Yep. And second,
Hi, Dad. We're in a
Hey,
new
buddy.
place.
Hey, buddy, don't worry about
We're
it.
not on the train anymore.
No, we're not. I just wanted to have you back because Danielle was hogging you from me. And the second thing,
doesn't hog. I was just asleep.
and the second thing is, don't you have the most direct line to your to Tin Man with the
Yes, that's what I was suggesting. We've used him before to get contact with the sanctuary. He has some sort of connection to Tone. Not to mention, he's still in the city.
Fish is referring to the locket.
Yeah.
Yep.
May's kind of like drumming her fingers on like the dash, and then nods and says, "If you think you can be any help, we might as well." Like, I don't get the feeling that Mr. So what was his surname again, Patrick? Esquis or something?
Eloquentius.
Eloquentius.
I don't
He's
think that Mr. Eloquentius. I don't think that Mr. Eloquentius is perhaps going to be the best source of information.
Deputy.
No.
Sorry, what did I hear? Something about being a deputy? Did I? Sorry, my ears just kind of.
It's a surprise.
Okay.
Go over there, do your thing. We're planning
Okay.
a surprise.
Yeah. No,
party.
I'm working. I'm just. It's just all very exciting, and I'm a little stressed. Because
Mr. Eloquentius.
Yes.
Do you have any, I don't know, orders or communications or instructions from above what we're meant to be doing at the moment? Or are we just hanging tight?
I assumed that I assume that you had your own orders. Communications. Well, we received a communication from the other substation. Sub-administrator Lith said he was updating Sub-Administrator Solwyn about the situation regarding this sort of Faceless One's death cult that we've had cropping up in Dog Creek. Apparently, they're making a bunch of problems right now, so he had to leave with his staff to help take care of that. And I think I remember he was saying that he was having some trouble reaching the sanctuary as well. So that's kind of why I assume it's like a sanctuary thing that's happening. Sub-Administrator Solwyn just told me to hold down the fort and do my paperwork and direct anyone who needs it to speak with her, and if they need to find her where she is, and I have the address for where she's staying, and but of course you can use the teleportation circle to get back to the sanctuary and find out what's happening. I was told not to because we couldn't spare the staff. We couldn't have someone running off to get orders quite yet. But Sub-Administrator Solwyn said,
we need you here. Is the thing?
Okay. Yeah. No. I'm Roger. Loud and clear. Yeah.
Yeah, you are holding down the post, and you're doing a great job so far. Just fucking keep at it.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. I'm just yeah, Miss Holman said that maybe when she got the sites back, we could like spare a person to go like figure out what's happening with the sanctuary or something. But yes, absolutely, Detective Fish. I am holding down the fort.
You certainly are. Now, completely forgets that he exists. Turning back to May and Cal. Do either one of you want to go check it out yourselves, or are we going as a group?
The sanctuary or the other substation?
The sanctuary. Teleportation circle.
Yeah. Patrick, when did May agree to see Sinner?
Sinner is ready about now.
Yeah, okay.
You basically said ASAP. You gave him the address of. Well, actually, you probably said, "I'm not familiar with this area. Pick a place for us to meet." And he went, "There's this coffee shop here we can meet at." So
there's a motel.
Yeah, there's a motel. It charges by the hour. He may be waiting for you right now. If you can, find an excuse to get away.
Yeah. Okay.
These two clowns.
Also, the listening to this while watching Mooney jerk off a brush buddy is so bizarre.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah. Okay. In that case, May's going to go. Miss Eloquence says, I need to borrow your car.
Oh, the
mind?
rental? Yeah. No, of course.
Yeah.
It's at least rented by the sanctuary, so it's the sanctuary's car, and you're a detective for the sanctuary, so it's also like
yes, exactly. You're a smart man. Fish, cleric. You go on ahead without me, and I'll meet you in there. I don't know. Make it whatever reasonable time.
Yeah.
Actually, no, so scratch that. May's going to say, I actually need to take care of something in town. Perhaps it would be best perhaps if you waited for me to get back. I don't expect there'll be more than a couple of hours, but obviously I understand that you might want to just go back anyway. May really doesn't want them to do that, but she...
And Cal is like, and what is... You've made friends in town?
She's doing the fucking travel writing thing. She really committed to it.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, May, you're in travel writing?
May doesn't say anything. She just has the wherewithal to lie at the moment. She doesn't want to tell them.
Yeah,
she knows they're going to mercilessly.
Cal is prying, so I might roll for that.
Yeah, go for it.
I'd say roll insight versus deception. And I'd say if May has been so rattled. I was going to say, but obviously don't need it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. The dice tell a story.
If you say the right thing, they will tell you. Which will
Insight
hate
is
it.
14.
Do you reckon that beats a net 1?
I think so. Yeah.
Man, you don't have to be the son of a gotta connection to tell that some shit's off.
Okay. Rini, do you want to describe, I guess, what that looks like for Cal? Like, does Cal do anything?
Cal tilts her head and crosses her arms. And you don't understand that she's squinting at you and raising an eyebrow in a way that you see it, but you feel it. You feel the skepticism raining on
Yeah.
her.
It's probably
And
that
she's just
feeling
saying-
of
I'd read that as, why aren't you just telling me? And as longer goes of, oh, I know the one thing you won't tell me.
No, okay. If the moment Cal crosses her arms, May's like, Mr. Drum came up to rescue me. He is now in the area. Obviously, I am no longer in need of his assistance. However, it would be pretty remiss of me to at not least buy him a coffee as thanks for for coming to get me.
Yes, you can do that another time. Is it really the time now?
It's he needs to borrow some money. You know, he like petrol money. He likes. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And we can't accompany you
You've
because
with a insight of 21, Mercy just kind of like goes to rest a hand on Cal's shoulder, but it's very light, very kind of like getting attention, not like actually making physical contact. And she just goes, let's have Miss Gladly have her privacy. Yeah, that's quite all right. And she kind of like shoots a glance at Fish and Cow and then leans forward a little bit and it's like, which coffee shop are you taking him to? I can give you some hotel recommendations.
May is like hotel recommendations.
Yeah, you know, it's hard when you've got a big mission. You know, there's a lot of stress. Sometimes it helps to blow some steam off. I get it.
Let this have a precedent. We have to have a hard line on no dates during missions. Absolutely not.
Fish is visibly shaking as they are holding it all inside because in the cages they know that they upset May. And so it's like,
Yeah.
I've got to fucking be nice about it.
It just
but
vibrates.
It physically hurts to not talk shit.
Does Cal actually say that, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was keeping it together, and then Mercy said that and was like, I'm laying
Yeah.
down the law.
I mean,
Yeah, you're
you know,
so right.
Is the mission still going on, Cleric? I mean, you know.
It's not done until we are back at the sanctuary.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Cleric, I don't know what impression you have of me to think that I'm going off to rent a motel room with someone in the middle of a mission. I can assure you, I would not be making this trip if it weren't important.
It's so important that Fish and I can't go. No, I see how it is.
I think we all see Tanya.
I think May's just gonna leave. She's now like really upset. She's just gonna leave. Like,
I'm also mad, which is not fair
Yeah.
at all, but she is.
oh yeah, but that's to be expected. Yeah. Ironically, this has cemented for me she cannot tell them what's going on. Yeah, May will just like, Miss Eloquence, here's your keys, please.
They're just like he just points to them hanging on a hook by the door.
Yeah,
You
May just takes them and leaves.
Scoop them
Doesn't
as
say a
you
word. Just
walk
leaves.
out.
Yeah.
Once she's gone, Fish says, I'm sorry. She's not very good with remembering people's titles. You are absolutely a deputy.
Oh, um, thank you. That means the world. Oh, Jake, you're a deputy now? Hey, good for you, bud.
It was a quick thing, but a quick thing doesn't always mean a bad thing. Mercy, what are you up to? What are you doing?
No.
Well, I'm gonna check in with Freya, see how things lie here. If we're not getting orders from the sanctuary, I guess if Freya doesn't need me urgently, I'll teleport back in and see what's what. But yeah, it's just kind of weird.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, uh, at least in certain respects, Tone's the most powerful sensitive I've ever met. We can just do like pew, and he's got like his psychic messages to you from the other side of the globe. It's just like he can't check in with more orders or whatever.
I will call my abbot.
All right, I'll get in touch with Freya and see what's happening. I guess Jake, keep doing what you're doing unless new deputy stuff gets in the way of that. Yeah, I'll go make some calls. As May storms outside, getting down to the car and jumping in and starting it. What's she feeling like with all this going on?
She's feeling like, like the typical fucking scene where like someone literally storms out and gets in the car and they like slam the door and like lean their head on the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm. Just sit there for a minute.
Yeah, she's just kind of like, fuck. Like I can't tell them. Like in her mind, like she doesn't want Cal to be involved because she knows Tinnitus like raked her over the coals. And like she's also a representative of her temple. Like if she gets caught involved in like sabotaging sanctuary, like a significant sanctuary project, that's a real big problem. Meanwhile, Fish is just like, she's really glad Fish has stepped up, but like she still doesn't really feel that like they're taking it, like they would take things seriously enough. And also, like, Fish has a penchant for nearly dying at every fucking turn. And she just feels really alone and kind of like, even though, like, logically it's not her fault that Ampule's at the sanctuary, like, she's potentially, like, she's potentially, Crown maybe knows that the Ampule is there, like, he's going to use it. And she just keeps thinking, like, back to the ruins when Cinna was like, we shouldn't let them take it out. She was like, no, like, it's fine. And now she's like, fuck, he was right. I'm an idiot. I should never have, like, let anyone take anything out.
Ellie, if I may, it is okay for characters to be wrong about information. So even though now you, the person, know that the Ampule was not built, may very well believe that the Ampule is what has been built. So
that's a really good point.
Mm-hmm. Just saying.
And as part of that, for you, Ellie, the player, it seems like Crown was potentially behind the reflections that were, masquerading as the Second Dawn cell that was supposedly storing the Ampule. It may be Crown knows exactly where it is, and he's the reason it never left. But maybe that's not something May has put together.
No, I don't think May would put that together. I think and then on top of like, actually, yeah, you're right. I think I will have a fear that May thinks that she's built the fucking Ampule, because I think that's a really fucking great concept anyway. And there's a sense of like, she's contributing to, you know, potentially a huge problem. It's because of her, like, she helped make this thing happen. And she's also, you know, bone-crushingly tired from the whole thing. She's doubting her moral allegiances and everything. Yeah. She's holding it together, but barely.
She's gotten enough rest, but there is physical rest and there is mental rest, and she has not had enough mental rest.
For sure. And now, like, she was kind of like, fuck, maybe I should tell them. And then Cal cracked the shits, and they was just like, wow, it's like, she has such a low opinion of me that she thinks I'm sneaking off to fuck in the middle of all this. Like, just, yeah.
I will clarify. Cal doesn't think that. Cal does think that sticking out to rescue May, and instead of doing the proper thing, which is, okay, fuck off, bye, is that she's like, well, I have to, like, be polite and, like, spend time with him and thank him for her time. Like, she doesn't think it's, like, thirsty, because she knows May's deep in denial at this point. But she does think that she's, like, entertaining Sinner in a way that is really a waste of time, just out of, like,
and Cal
appreciation for him.
Yeah, and Cal is, you know, mean, and she's very frustrated with May. So if she needs to throw some, like, oh, you know, you're just going to get busy or whatever, not because she thinks it's true, but because she thinks it'll hurt May, she might.
Yeah, so, yeah, May's just kind of feeling very alone, very bad about herself and her choices, and very tired.
All right. As you get in the car and drive down the ridge, sort of leaving the more heavily wooded area and reach town, you get down the way, realize you don't know where you are, check the map in the glove box, and find at least the street he said it was on. You drive around and eventually find your way to this coffee shop. You assume it's a coffee shop because it is a building with no sign, but people do seem to be walking in and out. It also doesn't have any windows and is kind of a rundown building. As you pull up and park, you think this is where Sinner told you to meet him.
Okay. May sits there for a moment again, like, thinking to herself, like, fuck, I am, like, the cleric's right, I am wasting time, I should go back. But also, I desperately need to talk to someone who I could actually, like, be open with. So she kind of huffs aside, like, zips up her jacket to, like, hide her tattoos, and gets out and tentatively opens that door, I guess? The strange building.
As you get out onto the street, people going in seem all right, not like scary, seem like normal people. And as you open the door, you walk in and see a very dark, dingy coffee shop. It's a coffee shop. It just looks like a fucking person decided to squat here and somehow brought like all of their equipment to make a coffee shop. It's somewhere where like in the modern day would be like this super hipster underground coffee shop that no one knows about, but instead it's just unknown and kind of grungy. As you get in, you know, you find that this early in the morning there's quite a few other people getting their morning coffee. It's not packed by any means, but there are some other people here at tables sipping coffee. And in the back corner, mostly in shadow, with the ability to keep an eye on all the exits, is a large figure who you recognize.
Yeah. Does he have a coffee?
He does.
Okay.
He actually
Um,
has a coffee and 2 empty cups.
Okay. May walks straight over there. Doesn't even order, doesn't even think about ordering. Just walks straight over there. And I'd also like her to roll for, I don't know, just generally checking whether there are other mages around or like how secluded he is. Like, will anyone overhear them, sort of deal?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Yeah. That is. Sorry, I moved my windows around. That is an 11. May is rolling so badly today.
Okay. With an 11, you can see that Sinner has purposely chosen a table that's a little farther away from the others, and looking at the layout of the room, it may even be like he or the owner like physically moved tables farther away or something, because there's kind of like this interruption of the pattern. Like the tables and chairs are all haphazard anyway, but they're, considering how close together they are, there is kind of a suspicious amount of room around Sinner's table, and it seems like no one can at least easily listen in on you, and you don't see anybody spying on you or keeping track of you either. You also see Sinner wearing a uh, a well-fitting but not particularly nice suit that he's thrown the jacket off. The sleeves are rolled up. There's like sweat stains at the collar and the armpits, as he probably ran here. But you recognize. While this was not what he was wearing when you met him, because he was reporting for duty, this is like, seems fairly standard, like security guy outfit fitting in. You also see that he is very anxious, and as you approach the table, he stands most of the way up, kind of knocking the table a little bit with the how quickly he gets there, and I don't think 11 is high enough, although May has a very high passive insight. Let me double check May's passive insight to see if it's higher
like
than what
2.
I rolled. It's like 2?
Yeah, oh, so it's my bonus. It's perception that's the really high
Yeah,
passive.
perception is a really high passive one for you. Do-do-do-do. Passive insight for May is 12. Yeah. Not high enough, so you don't you see a lot of anxiety on his face, but you don't see him holding himself back from reaching out and grabbing you and making sure that you're here and that you're safe. You see that he looks over you really quickly to make sure you're okay, but you don't see kind of the fear involved in that movement. But it almost looks like he's going to envelop you in a bear hug, when instead, kind of hesitantly, he just kind of like lays a big hand on your shoulder and goes, "Hey, May. I'm glad you're all right. Let's sit."
May sits down and is just like, can barely look him in the eyes, because all she sees is that he's anxious, and she's like, great, I've like fucking another person who I've like fucked up with. Like, I've worried him for nothing, even though there is stuff to worry about, but he doesn't know. You know what I mean? It's just the thing of like, great, another person I'm letting down. And she just kind of like buries her face in her hands and just doesn't say anything.
He
yeah.
takes the coffee he was drinking. You see he's still most of the way full, and he slides it over to you.
Yeah, May skulls it.
It is a little too hot to do that,
Okay.
but after it's all the way... No, I mean, you do it. It's just too hot, and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
After it goes down and you're just like chugging it for the caffeine, you slam the mug down. It's kind of like, that's actually really good coffee. didn't didn't taste it all on the way down, and now it's kind of like, well, I could have enjoyed that. Oh well.
And then just like heaves a big sigh, and then it's kind of like going like this, and just kind of like shakes her head. Just like she doesn't even know where to start.
Well,
She
awesome.
doesn't know
Glad
how
you're-
to start.
I'm glad you're all right. I guess I'll look for other work, but yeah, I'm glad you're all right.
Other work, right? How much did you spend getting up here, Sinai?
Don't worry about that.
Petrol, food.
No,
but
no.
I
I mostly called in some favors. No, it's fine. I had to make sure you were all right. With my mother there and everything. That's dangerous.
God, your mother. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know if your mother's alive.
His face kind of falls for a moment, and then he straightened his shoulders and like very obviously like puts the mask back on and is like, what do you mean? You saw her go down?
No, I didn't. I didn't see her go down.
Oh, well. I mean, tell me about it, but she's probably fine then.
I certainly hope so. The base got stormed by a small army of reflections working for a breakaway cell for the Second Dawn. I don't know where she was when it happened. And I didn't see her when we got out.
All right. Well, I'll put some feelers out just to see if she's okay. But if she went, working for a resistance cell is how she'd want to go, and I personally don't think that's how it went down. 9 Rosewood does not die that way. There was one time when I was a kid. I think it was probably about 5, and I was spending some time at a family friend's house. Unbeknownst to me, my parents were taking care of something they didn't want a child involved in. My dad, one thing, 9, another. And yeah, she came to pick me up. She had dirt all over her clothes. I asked her about it. She said, "Don't worry about it." It wasn't until a conversation over dinner that she was like, "Oh yeah, I got shot and I got buried in a shallow grave and I dug my way out and then I just, went to pick you up because I knew it was time to get you from the house." And nine doesn't go down easy.
A shallow grave, you say? She dug her way out.
Yeah.
Of course she did. Of course 9 did that. Um,
My mother and I have taken very different paths in life. I think it's a little obvious that we don't stay in particularly close touch, but
yeah, she made that very apparent. Yes,
oh god.
you're meant to write her more, by the way.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay.
Sorry.
Not that she ever makes it easy, you know. Always got to send messages through my brother because she's off in Bolivia, headhunting the nationalists, or she's involved in some military action in Guam, or But no excuses. You still got to write. You still got to call. Sorry. No, it's. Let's get back to how you're doing.
I don't even know where to start, Sinner. I mean, I guess I'll just come out with it, because I don't know what else to do. And May's like looking around. Is May confident that no one's overhearing them if she speaks in an undertone?
Fairly confident with that perception check. You can also see that as Sinner looks up and makes eye contact with the guy behind the bar, who just gives a small nod and then puts away like the coffee pot and stuff. Is gonna stay away and not give refills. And it's like, okay, Sinner is known here. This is like not necessarily a safe house, but this is somewhere he feels somewhat comfortable.
Okay, cool. But she's like kind of still unable to make eye contact with him properly. So in an undertone. I will say May will need to roll deception for this, because the deception she's rolling is that she's like totally on top of it and it's all going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it's bad. It's a 2. Perfect.
Yeah.
So that would probably be, I think, a 6 with my actual, though. Yeah, so that's a 6. The dice do tell the story, baby. So she's like staring, like, I don't know, over his shoulder instead of at him, and she's kind of like really clearly like, I don't know, fidgeting, like like drumming her fingers on the table. And enter the forced cheer monologue, baby. Which is, well, I'll just come out with it, I guess, because I don't know where else to start. The sanctuary and potentially the benefactor is in possession of the ampule, which is my fault. And, given how the dig went, I wouldn't blame you for being surprised. Typical May Gladly, just not fucking thinking. And I can't tell the others. Cleric is profoundly unhappy with me at the moment. Not to mention, she's a representative of her temple. She can't be involved with destroying this or helping without risking severe political upset. And Fishers, they've stepped up, but they're still tragically incapable of thinking before speaking. And they fucking knocked on death's door so often, it's only a matter of time before they invite themselves in for lunch. Oh, and there is, of course, we've all signed binding magical blood documents preventing us from betraying the sanctuary at risk of death. So given that this situation is my fault, and mine alone, I won't have them risk their lives for little old me, or you yours, for that matter, before you get any ideas. Destroying the ampule is my responsibility. And it's fun that I won't marvelously fuck up this time, I promise. But yeah, to summarize, I basically just called you up here because I was in a bit of a state, and I really should have just let you know that we had escaped, and you could go back to work or find new work, because I've no doubt ruined that for you as well. Far from best practice for an employer, let alone a friend, which is why I insist that you let me reimburse you. Petrol costs, food, I don't care, just tell me.
Yeah. That's not gonna happen, especially not when you're being so cruel to someone I care about.
Do you mean me?
Yeah. So anyway,
May's shaken.
May, it cannot be your fault. All of these things happen way outside your control. You know, I warned you that the sanctuary plays dirty sometimes, but even I didn't expect them to be involved in this. And
We see it wasn't them, Sinner. Do you remember how we let Vaunt out with that little thing that that you shot yourself for? Because I wouldn't just let it go.
yes, he kind of like you can see like tenses the muscle and kind of like does little stretches and stuff subconsciously of being like, no, I remember.
Well, the Sanctuary asked me to help them build a machine to find the ampule, and I thought, great, I'll go along with that, and then I can make sure it's destroyed. And then while I'm trapped in that cage in the Second Dawn hideout, I get a message from the Arcanist I was working with, who tells me they've switched the machine on, and the ampule is there in the room with them, Sinner. We fucking built the thing. And it's gonna be, I don't know how I'm gonna destroy it. And fucking the Grand Mage Crown is a reflection, who I probably connected to, and if he isn't, and they just like, so now
Esme is
I
just
can't
kinda
tell
like-
anyone.
Esme is just kind of like letting this all out. You can see it kind of like hitting Sinner as he's kind of like sitting back farther in the seat of being like, ooh, and then he's quiet for a moment and he goes, faceless fucking gods. Okay, May, that does sound at least a little bit like your fault. So I guess we'll just go
Yeah.
destroy it now, alright? Then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Sinner, it's a profoundly tough magical object. You can't just beat the shit out of it.
People have told me that before, and I've succeeded.
Even if you could beat the shit out of this thing, all right? Even if you could, I don't think that's necessarily advisable, considering that the amount of magical energy in it would probably be akin to a nuclear bomb.
Alright, so I'll get you there and you beat the shit out of it. May, you know
I
how
should
to
have
deal
just
with
listened
this.
to you.
You built it, you know how to take it apart. We'll just go there and we'll handle it. I don't know about Grand Mage Crown being a reflection, maybe. I think that was something you said. That's insane. I don't know about any of this other stuff, but if this is something you need handled, let's handle it.
Then we'd have to go to the sanctuary, and you've made it pretty clear that you don't want to go to the sanctuary. And besides, the cleric and Fish will never shut up if you come with me. They're convinced that you and I are. It doesn't matter. I don't expect you to come with me. That would be ridiculous. You've uprooted everything. Nah.
Well, if
I should have just told you to go back.
I don't think you could have stopped me, but no, if you're sure.
This
I
is
mean-
Ellie to Patrick. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, go on.
Yeah,
I
go
was
for it.
going to say, I think May absolutely would push Sin away. I'm also thinking it's probably preferable that he doesn't come from a campaign perspective anyway.
As from a campaign perspective, it doesn't matter. One way or the
Oh,
other,
okay.
you can have him. You can bring him with. You can keep him away. You know, he's Sinner is not someone that I'm just gonna have you have access to
Yeah.
all the time because
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
very strong.
Yeah.
But the thing is, shit's going wrong in the sanctuary, and maybe you need someone really strong right now. You know, if you want to, I'm gonna let you.
We do not have a tank in the party currently.
Oh, well, the other thing as well is like, how do you guys as players feel about that? We know how Fish and Cal feel about that, but yeah,
Center. I like having more people to talk to in the group. I'm fine with it.
I love that man.
Yeah.
Okay, and just confirming, Patrick, that's actually something you're okay with?
Yeah.
It is my
Patrick
worst
might give
nightmare
you
that
the
I would be
option if
pushy
he
on
didn't
this.
like it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Exactly.
that's a very fair point.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sinner wouldn't say, I'm coming along with you. He would say, I understand.
go
I've
take
got
care of
this
my
really
mom,
important
blah, blah,
thing
blah."
I need to do. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. May's like drumming her fingers on the table. She goes, well, what would you do at the sanctuary? Plus they'd be running background checks, and that could cause trouble for you. I don't want you getting fucking in trouble because of me. Again, you've gotten in a lot of trouble because of me, but I'd rather it not happen anymore.
Well, I've had interactions with the authorities before, and it ended up fine. Besides, you said this ampule thing was really dangerous, right?
That's a simplistic way of putting it. Yes.
Well, then we gotta stop it. I was on that dig too, May. I helped get that thing out of there. It wasn't just you. It's both of us.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Fuck it, why not?
They're going to be so pissed off with me. And Maeve's like, you don't even know. You don't even know how pissed off they're going to be with me.
I think
If you
I'll think they'll deal with it once we tell them that we're taking care of something important. I mean, don't
I
they want to
imagine
go
we-
and destroy the ampule? It's so dangerous. They were all gung ho for keeping things in the ruins.
I kind of haven't told them, like I said.
They.
Don't look at me like that, Mr. Drum. Cleric's in a tough spot, politically speaking, and Fish is, well, you met Fish. Never looking before they're leaving. I should tell them, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
I just don't want them to get hurt.
You don't keep things from your fire team. That's a lot more likely to get them hurt.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We should probably get going then. How did you drive here? Do you have a car?
I caught a ride with someone. You drive here?
Alright. Yes, in this wretchedly stinky little sanctuary rental car. You'd think they could spring for something a bit better. No. What happened to
Historically,
the...
I assume they can't.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Correct. Alright. Okay. Sinner? I'm really, really thankful you came up here.
I'm just glad to see you're all right. Give me a insight check.
Alright. It's in that one. I do not like this dice tower.
You take everything he's saying at face value. There's
He's a great pal.
Yeah, there's no kind of undertones. There's no hint that he really blatantly lied when he said he got a ride with someone here because he probably ran it here from the train station. Yeah, or there is a car in the parking lot that suspiciously has the lock blown off and all the wires torn out.
Yeah, he's like, wow, how convenient, great pal. He's totally like such a good friend just here for me.
It's
so and Fish were wrong.
It's good that he was just really close, and it's like he was not really close. He's been awake for like 24 hours at this point, just getting here as fast as humanly possible.
Alright. May's like, right, okay. Do you have a pack or anything? You good to go?
Yeah, right here. Just pulls out like his big backpack, which has been repurposed. It looks like it's mostly holding clothes and stuff like that. But yeah,
Cool.
he's ready to go.
Do you want should I ask if you want another coffee to go?
I think I've had enough. But if you want one, it's good, right?
Yeah, it's you know me, I'm more of a tea drinker. But it is excellent coffee, yeah.
Of course.
Have you eaten anything, Simmer?
Yeah, no, of course. Ooh, that was a couple
Right,
hours
okay.
ago.
What do you want?
Okay.
We'll get a pastry. They have pastries, don't they? They have pastries out here? They surely would.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what they got. Can't say I've tried Romeo's pastries here, but yeah, and maybe we'll get a tea for the road.
Okay. May goes up, makes that order. Full body relief of like, cool.
There is this you interact with the guy behind the counter, seemingly the owner, who's and you're like, do you have any pastries? And he's like, oh, what kind of pastries? Do you want savory? Do you want sweet? Breakfast, lunch, brunch? What kind of pastries?
May chooses whatever looks the most filling, like, and nutritious.
There is not
actual
like
food.
there is not like a glass case or something.
Oh,
He pulls out a sheet tray from behind the counter that just has pastries on it, and you see like, oh, that's a nice like smoked ham and Gruyere croissant sandwich or something like
Yeah, that's it.
really
May grabs that.
really nice things.
Yeah, May gets a tea to go, and then tips the cafe ridiculously. So I'll
So,
take that out of my gold coins.
So how do you know Sinner?
Worked with him.
Oh, he's never brought somebody he works with before to my little cafe.
Oh, well, he's like, not thinking about that, baby. Actually, that's a good point, May. May will also buy enough pastries for the crew. Kind of as a consolation. Hey, I've like brought an outsider in. Here's a snack.
All right, sounds good. You get the sense that while the cafe owner is not necessarily like a personal friend, he's kind of maybe some of the closest Sinner has in his like traveling life. So yeah, you get the sense that it's like, oh, this isn't a safe house. This is like Sinner
This
is
his
known
favorite
here.
coffee shop.
This is his favorite coffee shop. This is a friend of his.
How many?
be
should I
the
take away,
most-
like, one, please?
It would be the most popular coffee shop in Canada if it had windows and was not on the side of town where you get stabbed. And what was your question?
Shall I take off one gold piece for all of
Yeah,
that?
for all of that,
Yeah.
it'd be about 1 gold.
Yeah, cool. And then May will like hold open the door for him, and she's kind of like shyly, like she's really trying not to. And that one made it very clear that they're just friends, so she's really not feeling any kind of way about it. It's totally fine and normal.
He grabs the pastry bags and stuff out of your hand as he walks out, so you don't have as much to juggle, and carries it to the car. And you drive back to the Sanctuary substation. Meanwhile,
Yep.
what was everyone else doing back at the substation? This gives you the opportunity to try and like establish connection in some way. Maybe doing maybe trying to figure out something symbologically. It gives you a chance to look more thoroughly at like the paperwork that's scattered around, or try to get a sense of things. You could call Freya and see what's up. Or just you got a little bit of time to do some things.
Fish has been like studying the sending stone that is supposed to get to the sanctuary.
It's not like a sending stone. It's like it's kind of like a sending network node. A sending stone is like it's the equivalent of being like a sending stone is kind of like a cell phone, while this is like a switchboard bank
Oh,
of being
okay.
like it's more complicated and therefore more robust and less blockable, but also being like same like basic principle.
Okay, Fish has been studying the sending switchboard and probably, taken a switch out of a thing and then immediately forgotten which one it went into and went there and put it back in a wrong one.
Genuinely, the reason I'm not sure I could have ever survived at the time when switchboards were a thing. None of those fuckers have labels on them.
Yes.
Give me I want this to kind of be like a technology check. So
Technology.
I would say give me this as a just straight intelligence check.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. That's fine. Oh no, it's not. That one. That one. So that's 3 total, but not really. It's 3 minus.
As you are inspecting as you're inspecting it, trying to get a handle on like kind of what's happening, you end up plugging it back in and just being like, okay, does it work now? Hello, hello, and someone with a thick foreign accent says, hello? This is... how may I help you, Sub-Administrator Solwyn?
She's out. She's not visiting you?
She's not currently in the North Flanders Sanctuary, no.
Damn. All right. Well, I'll check the next number on the list. Thanks.
Very well. And you just end up like making a bunch of international calls to sanctuaries around the world, just being like,
Yeah.
"Is Freya there with you? No, okay." And eventually Jake is like, Detective, is there something like specific you're trying to find here that I can maybe help you with?"
Now, you're still early in your training, so I forgive you for this blunder. But when you're a
I'm here to
detective,
learn.
you have to put feelers out everywhere. You have to make sure everyone knows that you're out there doing your thing.
That makes
And
so much sense.
yes, yes, it does. Now that I've explained it to you, doesn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
You're picking this up really quickly, actually.
Oh, thank you. And, is there anything else that I can help you with? We got you the fruit bar and the ice water. But we didn't have lemons, so I put a lime wedge in there. I hope that's okay.
Yeah. And how are you for you got juices? My Kekano enjoys a juice.
I do enjoy a juice. That is true.
We we don't have any. We're actually all out. Miss Solwyn drank the last of them. I can't leave right now, so I can't get you a juice right this moment.
Okay.
Maybe we
It's
can.
okay.
Okay.
Jake, breathe with me. Yeah, you see, it's much better now. And I want you to know, I need you to learn this going ahead in like your career. It's okay to say no to people. It's
Yeah.
okay for the answer to be no.
Yes, it is important to set boundaries. But if you could get me a juice, I would like it, just like if it was easy for you.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand. Thank you, Detective Fish and Detective Kekino.
I'm really glad that you also know the hierarchy of power and that the seal is in fact above you.
I mean, he showed me his badge. He went like,
Yes, yes.
"I'm Detective Kekino, not just Kekino. Give me scritches under the chin." And then he's got that necklace that's like it's like a shark's tooth, and he flipped it open. There was a badge inside. It was
Yes.
so cool.
Perhaps we can get you your own necklace badge. But that's a conversation for another time.
I understand. I've got to earn it.
Yeah,
What
you're
is
on the way.
Cal doing while this is happening? You're muted.
She's definitely not listening to this conversation, but if she was, she'd be like, I'm not giving him a bone.
Just generally speaking, what has Cal been doing while May's been gone?
She called tinnitus.
All right.
Everybody's favorite. Old Tinny.
Old Tinny. Tiny Tits, as they call him.
Do they? Do they call him that? How did he get that name? I would love to
Someone
know.
calls him that,
Well,
I assume.
he is Ellie. He's canonically transgender. We have
I was gonna say.
established this long ago.
Oh my god.
It is not canon. Ink is making a joke, but it has been a joke from very early in the season. You know? Maybe he is.
Fuck you, it's
We
canon.
we just don't know. You feel coldness as you focus your magic on your sending locket, and the substation disappears around you. Hello, sister. I've not heard from you in quite some time.
Yes, we have been on a
Covert is the word I'd be using here. Covert
Yeah.
mission.
we have been on a covert mission past few days, and before that I was hoping to see you again in person when I had something interesting to share, and I did not have anything interesting to share.
Well, you never need a specific reason to spend time with your people.
Yes. How are things at Pagan's Temple? Anything of note happen recently?
Things are settled, I will say. There is less animosity between our two groups after the um, incident with the heretic from the United States. It seems that Sister Pagan has been hard at work preparing to move her flock into a new temple that they have found, and making some calls locally. It seems. It seems that perhaps someone at the society let something slip about some property purchases that may or may not be available.
Hmm. Well, is that something that you have a source on, or would you like me to investigate?
If you have time, I would appreciate the truth of this matter. I will say it is a little uncomfortable for us politically for Sister Pagan to so easily step into the shoes of our former brothers and sisters up here. But if she is seeking even more temples at this early stage, it is concerning. If perhaps you could look into this rumor when you have time.
I will. Now, I did have a direct question to ask you. Have you had any contact with Tone in the last 6 hours?
With the administrator, no.
There seems to be a, well, to put it in optimistic terms, concern; in less optimistic terms, a potential incident, in the fact that while on this mission for the last 6 hours, all contact to the sanctuary has been at first difficult and now impossible. I know that being able to bring information to the sanctuary and provide help by doing very little is extremely beneficial to us and often requires very little from us.
That is very concerning, sister. Yes, the sanctuary here always prided themselves on their communications infrastructure. Very concerning. Give me one moment. Let
Thank you.
me reach out by other means. There's sort of a pause on the
Text
line.
Tone, you up?
Yeah. Yeah. He looks under his desk at Tone's bobbing head and goes, "Stop that for a moment. You taking calls? Are you in?" um, no. There is a pause, and it lasts longer than you expect. And as Tinnitus gets back to you, he says, "I have tried my direct line to the Canadian Sanctuary. I have tried calling in favors for our Association of Temples line to the Sanctuary, and I have tried a personal sending stone from back in the war days that could connect to the administrator. And there has not only been no answer, there has been no connection. Communication is not going through in any way. This is very concerning, sister.
That is
I haven't seen this since
deeply,
the war, perhaps.
deeply worrisome. We have a teleportation point here that we haven't used yet because one of my fellow agents has decided to go on a social call. But at that point, we are going to all take it together when she returns. And the magic seems active. I am not entirely sure if it is. I am worried about what I may find when I return there. And if you cannot, I do not expect you to put yourself in any harm, but if you can spare anyone like an Harkin or Tail, or I'm not sure if Oscura has recovered fully enough, but anyone you could send in a car in the sanctuary just so I know that there is someone I can rely on if we come into a less than ideal situation, I would appreciate it.
Of course, sister. Is there any specific cause for alarm? Any specific threat that you are aware of?
I was some. I mean,
And then she's gonna pause and she's gonna tilt her head and then she's going to be like, "What was the last conversation you had with Tone? Did he talk about the incident with me?"
Incident. Well, I suppose it is an incident when one of my clerics is threatened by someone I used to hold in such high esteem.
You held him in high esteem, sir.
I did.
When was that?
Many, many years ago now. Grand Mage
Well-
Crown was the leader of our army.
Yes.
He
Well-
introduced me personally to the others. He showed me how to fight, gave me a target.
Did you leave on good terms the last you spoke to him?
He was disappointed, perhaps you could say, that I chose our faith over continuing to work with him in the sanctuary. But the war was difficult for all involved. We chose our own ways to deal with it.
Well, that is interesting to know. Well, in my reporting of the event and just what I was hearing, I was getting the impression there may be a skirmish between elders involving Crown and his difficult to control temper and moods. If I had to hazard a guess, maybe it was something like that, which is why I'm concerned.
Grand Mage Crown is an incredibly dangerous individual. He holds a lot of power in himself. True warrior during the war. I always felt it dangerous when his condition became apparent, that he still be allowed to wander the sanctuary unsupervised. I actually recommended a monastery for retirement
Yes.
where he could chant to the saints in as payment for his life of service, the cause of sorcerers.
Yes. Well, hopefully any harm done can be undone. Well, you will be able to reach me again at this locket. It will not have one of these sanctuary arcanist has changed it for me so it doesn't have its exhaustion point where it needs to be recharged.
Oh.
So
Well, that
Every
is
little
true, right?
bit.
There's just 0.
Yeah.
It went from 24 to 0, right?
Yes. I just didn't think you'd ever reveal that to him because now he can call you whenever.
Yeah, she really didn't want to, but we're kind of in an emergency situation.
What
Cal
clever
about to
little
get
bees
get
they
on her other
have.
stone and go, make it your ass over here.
He says, "Very well, sister. I will send out someone to bring our word to the sanctuary. I warn you, though, it's probably nothing, but at least during the war, cutting communications was always the first sign of an impending attack."
yes. Thank you for your help.
Of course, sister. Call on me if you ever need counsel.
Yes, I may the stream carry you and our brethren.
And may the saints guard your shadow. Click. Hangs up.
Vince was listening in. Can I just say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. They don't even give her a second to breathe before they stick their head in and go, "Hey, so about your tiredness problem, I've been giving it some thought. Metal, before she fucked off, would sometimes have sleepovers with Kekano.
Metal
was just
slept
thinking,
4
like-
hours a night.
That's
What?
not a lot.
No, yeah. So maybe if you had him with you as like a pillow or something, you'd be up for that, wouldn't you, buddy?
Yes, I would make a very good pillow.
Yeah. Maybe then you could sleep for 5 hours even.
Maybe even 6 or 10 or 8 or 3.
First, there are way more important concerns to be thinking about. And secondly, you just got upset for Kekno being gone for what was that, 45 minutes?
Okay, but like it's such a different. Had you called to your guy girl?
Well, he cannot access any tone or anything else in the sanctuary as well, and he used, I think it was 4 different methods, so things are bad. Things are very, very likely very bad. I'm calling Meg. I'm telling her that she needs to turn around.
Oh yeah, I'm not even gonna wait. I was thinking I'd just go through the circle. That's actually the reason why I was coming by, to be like, oh, you want to just go to the circle? But then I heard you were on a conversation, so I decided to listen in and listen in. But yeah, so now let's just go to the fucking circle.
If the sanctuary is under attack, I want May here, or at least give her a tent here. If she doesn't want to be here, then she doesn't have to be.
She gets out her sending stone. We'll say that this happens maybe when May is getting in the car or something like that. Bring.
Hey, it is very cramped in here.
To be fair, Sinner, the car isn't built for giants.
If
Bring
Cal
it,
hasn't
bring
told
it.
Fish to,
No
if
cars
Cal hasn't
ever
told
are.
Fish to, if Cal hasn't told Fish to fuck off, they've come up and so it's like, hey.
Yeah, no, she hasn't.
So I just like May will feel. Have they actually started driving yet, or are they actually just gotten in? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You're
May
you're on
feels
your way
something
back.
stirring.
You're probably like maybe 10 minutes out.
Yeah, cool. May feels the sending stone, takes it out, sees it as Cal's, and looks at Sinner and is like, "It's the cleric. I really don't want to answer Sinner. She's so angry with me.
Well,
I will answer.
It's not.
but-
It's not safe to answer while driving.
No. It's you hold it.
All
But
right.
I'll answer. But you hold it so I can at least look at the rain.
Yeah, reaches
I
out
guess
and
maybe
grabs
like
the wheel.
activate it. No, I made the Sinner to hold the stone.
Oh,
Like, you know how you like hold it up to someone's mouth
Yeah.
while they're driving? So, yeah. Yeah. May picks up then once she's
Are you done?
I'm 10 minutes away, cleric.
Good. I reached out to
Is-
my abbot. He is not able to contact the sanctuary on any means, even personal channels with Administrator Tone. We could be coming into anything, including a war zone. So, what is the word mortal say? Pump the gas. Do that.
Pump-
Get here.
A war zone.
It's pump the brakes, but I think you mean like put the pedal to the metal.
Yes.
Anyway, May, if you possibly can, bring the side dish back with you. We might need him.
The side?
Sinner is
dish?
looking over at May and going, "Side dish."
Did you?
Maybe
I mean,
the
I-
main meal.
You know,
I mean,
the beef.
What? I mean, I bought pastries. I thought you might be hungry. The beef. May's gonna have to roll. 'Cause she's so far in the river.
Fish is not going to be any clearer because they're like, no, I'm trying. That slipped out. I shouldn't have said that. I'm trying to be
That's
nice.
right. Well, it's a 2, so it doesn't.
Sinner covers the stone with his other hand and goes, "Are they talking about me?"
The beef.
So,
May
Fish
like
goes,
looks at.
Fish goes, Pastries are great.
They could be talking about you, Sarah. I guess you're muscular. May
Yeah,
not
I
thinking about that.
A little bit. Fully like sticks an arm out the window and flexes.
May rolls her eyes. All right, Mr. Drum, calm down. Kind of like nudges his hand off the stone and then goes, yeah, the beef is en route. Or route, I guess. How would a British person pronounce it, actually? Whatever's correct. May says that. And he goes, I thought we might need some backup.
Mm-hmm. Just drive quickly.
Well, I do have to obey the
But
speed
not
limit,
safely.
cleric.
Do you? No one lives in this town, do they?
I haven't seen anyone.
Okay, well, I'm hanging up now. I will see you soon, I suppose. May hangs up and turns to Sinner and goes, they took that rather well. I was expecting them to be angry with me.
I think they understand that we're friends.
Well, of course. Maybe. Yes, of course. You did shoot yourself for me, Sinner. Very good friend. And then stares dead ahead of the road and does not look.
Okay, this doesn't have to be real, but just for comedy purposes, the old not thought they hung up but didn't hang up, and so Fish and Cal are both like,
Yeah, I'll pay that.
I haven't shot myself for you, and I think we're friends.
And then he puts it away and then would probably hang up by virtue of badly.
it's like in the center console, and while May is looking dead ahead at the road, Center looks down and still sees it's still activated and just goes, "Doot."
If you shoot yourself for me, I'm letting you bleed out.
Yeah. Here's the thing: if I'm shooting myself for you, it's because I can't fucking stand you anymore.
Nobody
ribbing ya.
shoot themselves or each other.
I
I'm
think
joking,
almost-
Kekano. It's all in good fun.
Hell does her little exhale, snirk, kind of almost snort.
And will I roll to see if Fish can fucking notice that?
Yeah, that would be very low.
Alrighty. Mm.
Those noises bode well.
13.
You heard it. I think you maybe not. Out of 13, you can't tell whether or not she actually really thought it was that funny or she was surprised. But yeah.
Yeah. So it's not certain, but Fish is like, I'm onto something here. It doesn't say anything.
As you're waiting, Mercy comes back from outside and is just like, hey, I got in contact with Freya. She actually could need help from a more experienced sensitive, so I guess I'm gonna head up. Unless you got in contact with the sanctuary somehow?
Nope.
We got in contact with a definite answer of it is completely dead end on every avenue.
Let her have some hope. Come on.
That's extremely concerning. No answer at all. Anyway.
No.
Oh. Okay, so that's like an emergency. So
Yes.
I'm gonna call Freya back and say, actually,
Thank you.
Fuck what's going on with you. We got a situation.
Thank you.
It's probably fucking more microwaves anyway.
And May and Sinner pull up in the car.
May still has like the moment of like, okay, it's gonna be fine. I can tell them it's gonna be fine.
For no reason, but Fish decided, why am I compelled to take out the aviators that I took off Sinner and put them on my head?
As you stomp up the wooden stairs into the sanctuary substation, get in there, and Sinner looks at you all and is very cautious. Hi,
Mr. Drum.
Hey, didn't
cleric.
expect to see you so soon.
Fish. Nice sunglasses.
Thank you. I got them from a very handsome man.
Mr.
Well-
Drum very kindly offered to provide some backup for what we might be going into.
All right.
Yeah.
Also,
on that
I
note,
have-
what we're going into. It's fucked.
Wait
Alright.
a minute. Backup for. You didn't discover how bad the communication was until I just told you, and Sinner was already in your car then.
Yes.
Do you mean what's going on with?
Yes, about that. If I could, apologies, Mercy and Mr. Eloquentius. This is a very high-level detective
Eloquentius, get the fuck out.
matter.
You got it. You got it, boss.
could-
Yeah.
He goes, Jake,
If I
get
could-
out.
If I could speak with the cleric and Fish alone, perhaps we'll go outside.
Make it fast. I don't want to leave way too long.
Jake has already run out the door and closed it behind
Okay.
him. And Mercy was already out there taking a
Oh.
phone call. So it's just kind of like, yeah, okay. They left. You're alone.
Okay. May is going to look at Sinner and kind of like a God grant me strength for what I'm about to have to do. And then May goes, when I was in the cage, Arcanus Goth got in contact with me
Yes.
with some alarming news. You know the machine we were building?
Yes.
The thing to find the ampule.
Yes. So he got in contact with me because they turned it on, and it was giving some very strange readings, namely that the ampule was in the room with them. Which is to say, Fish, judging from your expression, if I haven't made it clear, there is a non-zero chance that I helped build the ampule or completed it.
That's true,
As
but
you-
I bet Gove said that it was just a mistake, right?
Well, he would, wouldn't he? Because why would you expect?
I'm inclined to believe him on that one.
I would love to be proven wrong. But considering what you said about, oh right, of course I haven't finished telling the story yet. Forgive me. When I got that message, I assumed the worst, and I think we can agree that no one should have the ampule, and it was in our best interest to render it unusable. I
Render it
attempted to send.
dead.
Sorry.
Render it dead? Render it broken, more like?
As much as possible, whatever the task. I sent Goth a series of tests intended to at least temporarily disable the machine until we could get there, and he never replied. And then you revealed that Crown is a reflection, and the last message I got from Goth was that he was going to speak to Crown to ask for his help.
Nice.
You didn't fucking tell us then?
Well, firstly, I didn't think it was a wise idea to tell that in front of the Second Dawn. I don't know Mercy. I professionally, I trust her, but I don't know her. And also, it's my fault, and I've let you all down before, and I thought I'd try and take care of it myself. And Cleric, I know that you're in a difficult position at the best of times as a representative of your temple at the sanctuary. I don't want you to get involved in anything that might jeopardize your career, your position. And Fish, I know that being leader has been confronting for you, and to be blunt, you have difficulty not spilling secrets at the drop of a hat, as evidenced by letting the second door know that Crown is a reflection, which is perhaps not the ideal choice.
Well, to be blunt back at you, Miss Gladly, I don't think that's any way to be speaking to, as you acknowledge yourself, your leader. Especially when you have just admitted to have made a much bigger mistake. Don't you think?
Fish, I think what's important is what we do now.
No, you are the lowest on this. I do not want to hear your opinion unless spoken to. I don't even know why you're here.
I
The
thought
reason
we
I'm
got
even
along
telling you
so
this at
well,
all-
Cleric.
What did Cinder say?
I thought we got along so well, Cleric.
Yes, well, Cindy here was the one who convinced me I should tell you, rather than just shouldering it myself.
Oh, because
So-
he gets to know. He was the one you trusted the most. Yes, I understand that.
Oh, well, I mean, that's not news to us, is it, Denya?
I did work with Mr. Drum for 30 however many days straight, you know. I know him a lot better than I know either of you.
Yeah,
he was
and
the one-
for those 30 days, I believe it was also that you were working for the benefactor.
Right, okay, I shouldn't have said anything. We'll take care of this and then I'll go my separate way. Obviously, I'm not up to yes. If excuse me, I need to. And May steps outside. On the brink of tears. This is her worst nightmare for how this went.
Truly terrifying is that Cal is crossing her arms, standing next to Fish. Like, yep,
Yeah,
I'm standing by Fish.
yeah.
Dinner does not follow, but he is just glaring at the two of them, down on them, since they're so much shorter than he is. He's just kind of looming disapprovingly.
Cal at 5'2" is giving posture like fucking Chihuahua. Like, you want to go, bitch? You want to go?
I would say May's like walked straight out into the forest because she obviously Mercy and Jake are out there. She doesn't want to. Yeah.
Go right ahead. But I want to say that I would like to clarify that Fish's cruelty is to cover up the fear that they're once again feeling. And so it is. So Kekano has been, on the desk or something, and Fish like looks at him and is like, fucking go after her. Make sure she's okay.
Okay, Dad. I don't like when you're mean.
No one does.
Excuse me, Sinner.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Opens the door for him. Kekano slides out.
May! May! It's Kekano! Your seal friend!
May is like
Maybe you
sitting
have
on a fallen
multiple
tree.
legs.
I'm the little
May's
seal.
like-
I'm usually brown. I have a green patch.
Maybe it's rude of me to assume there aren't any other seals.
May's probably like just within the like outskirts of the clearing, like sitting on I imagine like a fallen tree, just like head in her hands, really trying not to lose it. And when she hears Kekano, maybe she'll like probably message him. Like if she speaks, she'll start crying. It's that sort of
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did she message?
She says, "Oh, Kekano, I'm fine. You don't need to. I'm fine. You can go back to your dad. I just need a moment. Just some fresh air."
He goes, "You don't seem fine," as he gets closer to you, and he goes, "May, are you crying?"
Still in message. No, not a lie.
May, I smell the tears. I can see that you're crying. You can't just bottle it up inside because that's no good. Dad says only he's allowed to do that.
May like lifts her head up. I imagine Kekino is coming towards her at this point.
Yeah. Sliding
Yeah,
across the
she-
ground, dragging himself through the sticks and stuff because he can't slide very well out here.
Yeah, seeing him like drag like and catch on the stick, she goes, "Oh, darling, come here," and like picks him up, and then kind
Thank
of
you.
just holds him and sighs, sits back down. Doesn't say anything, just staring ahead.
I know that you're scared, and the others are scared, and I'm scared because you guys are scared. And you keep saying that there's this dangerous thing, although I don't really understand, but I understand that you think it's your fault. But if we're going to be scared, we should all be scared together. Because when you're scared, you need your friends. When
Oh,
I'm
I-
scared, I run to Dad or Colliginous or Metal. Sometimes Isle. One time there was a dog that barked at me a little too loud, and Isle barked back. So that was a situation where you run to Isle with when you're dealing with dogs.
May kind of like laughs and kind of like scrubs at her eyes, and he goes, "Oh well, I'm very glad I barked back. I'm somewhat worried that the cleric and your father don't. Well, I rather think that I'm probably not their friend at all after this."
I don't think that's true because you've been through a lot together and you've helped each other when we were in the cave place. And if you're not friends, then I think that that's because someone's being silly.
As always, Kekino, you present your argument flawlessly.
Thank you.
If I may, Fish has been continuously thinking about the threads. I
Mhm.
feel like it's not unreasonable for Kekino to be like, well, Dad doesn't like you because you got the gold in the thread or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Dad has this new thing. We can check to see if you're friends. There's like this thing that we do when we're together, and it makes the lines things, and they're different colors for different emotions, I think, and maybe relationships. And yours was gold with also other colors, but the gold too, which I think is friends, maybe. And so I think that means you're friends according to Granddad, who is very smart, I assume.
Still haven't asked your father about his magic. Things just keep coming up.
I haven't asked him about the magic either. I just do stuff. Dad's just
You're
like,
very
look
good
at
at
this.
it.
And I'm like, that's cool.
Well, it doesn't. Thank you, Kekino. It doesn't matter anyway. The important thing is that we stop the big scary thing.
Okay. And the really important thing is that we stop the big scary thing together.
Yes. May like gives a teary smile and then is like, I think more moves by Kekino coming out here than actually what Kekino's saying, because a lot of it is nonsensical to her, obviously.
How dare
And then
you?
also- well, she doesn't know what he's talking about. And then kind of like, okay, yeah, that's okay. Kekino, like, at least Kekino likes me, and Sinner is my really good friend. If I have like between those two, I can deal with like the cleric and Fish absolutely hating my guts, and we need to find out what's going on with the sanctuary. So she like says to Kekino, "We should probably go back inside, shouldn't we?"
Yes, we should go back inside. Can
Okay.
you please carry me?
Of course, of course. May's like, you know how you like carry a cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, belly up. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's how May carries Kekno back. She's like absolutely scritching under his chin as they go.
Swifty taught me how to purr.
You're doing an excellent job. And she's going to stop, like, climb up the stairs and stop outside the door and take a deep breath. And then she's going to message Cinna, because you can do this through closed doors if you're familiar with the target. And she's going to be like, are they still mad at me? Stupid question. They are still mad at me. I know they're still mad at me. I should come back inside.
I want. Cinna may not have heard this, but after May left, Fish went. I was being a dick, wasn't I?
Is Fish talking to Cal?
Yeah, to her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cal is gonna just like sigh a little and go, yes, but it just glares at Sinner and just like crosses his arms tighter and be like, I don't like this being left out and being left out in lieu of him. She deserves some of it.
I didn't just blurt it out, by the way. It was a calculated decision. I was thinking like, will I tell the Second Dawn? Yes, I will tell the Second Dawn. I just want to make that clear.
It would have not been my decision.
Well, it
but
wasn't.
Yeah, it would have not been my decision. But I did see where you were coming from with trying to form an allyship with him.
I appreciate that.
It was still stupid, though.
May, I'm not sure how mad they are at you anymore. They're just arguing with each other now.
Oh, that's a good sign. That's okay. I'm coming back. May like
Everything
opens
is
the door.
normal.
slowly.
Door opens to Ballot.
Yeah, May opens the door very sheepishly and closes it after her, but like stays standing next to Cinna, kind of like clutching Kekno for her life, and clears her throat and says, well, shall we go? Do we have a plan? Or what are we doing? It's abundantly clear I can't make decisions for myself, so.
Mm-hmm. I have people from my temple coming to provide backup, see if there's a way to get into the sanctuary physically, and when you're about to walk into a giant mess, hopefully give us some backup.
Yeah, look, the plan is to get back there and destroy the Ampule if it's really there. And obviously, you're coming with us for that one, right?
May's like, yes, that's why I told you all. After whatever happens after that, I understand if you never want to see me again or work with me again. It's very understandable. But yes, we have to destroy this.
Oh, May. Work with you again? Never. But see you again? Of course. Can we get out of here?
Mercy has quietly come back in and joined you at this point, and just says, "Yeah, let's fire up the teleporter and get out of here." Jake, you know how to do that, right? Yep. Yep. Just let me get it set up, and you can step right in and just whiz bang boom. He'll be at the sanctuary. I'm supposed to wait for Miss Solwyn, right?
Nope,
Just stay
we're
here.
going now. Yes,
No,
you
me.
Stay, yes, you stay. Please stay.
As a deputy. Okay, just making sure. Yeah, let me get you
And-
all set up.
And do you make sure that she knows about your promotion as well?
Oh, of course. Miss Owen is actually very nice. I'm sure she'll be very happy for me. Let's just crank up the teleporter here. He starts fiddling with a bunch of dials and things like that. And then downstairs in the little teleporter closet, you hear it start to activate. Oh, I'm getting some kind of problems in some way, but I'm sure it's fine. It looks like everything's good. So yeah, yep, we're good to go.
What sort of
Hey.
problems, Mr. Eloquensis?
There seems to be a little bit of interference. It's not really letting me lock on to the sanctuary like it's supposed to. It's
We should join hands.
heck.
Well, I was gonna say we should send someone through as a test.
I volunteer.
Not you, baby. Him, of course. Referring
And
to
then
the
we
giant
lose
man.
the person who knows how to operate it?
Fish was pointing at Cinna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
at the large man.
May like steps in front of Cinna and she says, I don't think we should be stepping through it at all if we can't lock onto the sanctuary. Who knows where we'll end up?
What, we're heading back through what? A tiny car?
It's a risk.
I'm willing to
You
risk
made
it.
very-
I can lock on to the other sanctuary substation in Winnipeg just fine. I'm having some trouble locking onto the sanctuary. I don't understand.
Maybe at Winnipeg they have a better connection. We could just do a stopover.
Tone is what? A few kilometers away. If he doesn't have, or Tennis is what? A few kilometers away. If he doesn't have a better connection, Winnipeg won't.
Then we should just go. Ellie.
What?
You were speaking.
Oh yeah, no. I was gonna say like if we'll just go. I was going to have May like I don't know, attach something to some of her rope and throw it through, and at least see that it's not destroyed on impact.
Give me an Arcana check.
Yeah. That is a 11.
With an 11, you wad up a piece of paper and you toss it into the teleporter when it's set to the sanctuary. And you know that a rope wouldn't work because beyond a certain point, it like snaps up everything, so the rope would be cut just in teleporting. But you toss the piece of paper and it disappears. But the like sound isn't quite right. But it does disappear, which means it's going somewhere. If the teleporter was fully not working, it would have just sailed through, you think. Teleportation technology, not really your forte, but you kind of understand the general principles that work here. So it looks like, yeah, you could definitely go to Winnipeg, in which case there is potentially quite a long drive ahead of you.
But this drive would be shorter from Winnipeg than it is from here, right?
Yeah, Winnipeg is about halfway back. It's still pretty far from the sanctuary. Or you could go the sanctuary way, and it seems like there is some risk involved. That may not be sending you exactly where you want to go. And the third option is finding some other way. Maybe try and beg, borrow, and steal some favor from the Teleporters Guild and get somebody to come get you, something like that.
Beg, borrow, steal, sick the big man on them.
I was gonna say, if we're outlining this out loud, I think Cal would be like,
Sinner, do you have a source for a teleporter? I can see if someone I know might be able to get me a favor.
I called in my favor with the teleporter. I guess I can just be in debt to him if
the teleporter mafia.
if that's the way we wanna go about this.
Let me try. And she's just real quick gonna pick up her Elise sending stone.
Hi, hun. How's it going?
Do you have any teleporters deeply in your debt?
Define deeply.
Willing to do some favors immediately?
Oh yes.
Oh, excellent. Could you get one to the Sanctuary substation in, was it Vancouver?
Yeah.
Vancouver right now? Let him in at the door. I'm assuming it's a him.
It is a him, although I don't particularly like how you said that. But yes, it is a him. Ooh, how do I put this? Are you okay with flirting a little bit, perhaps?
At this point, yes.
Okay. I believe the best way to sort of get his attention is sort of the repayment of a favor by also implying that perhaps you're a member of my temple and are maybe interested in him. I'll send him right over.
Alright, thank you.
Who on earth was that?
Silence.
Man, this interference is crazy. Can you believe what I thought I just heard?
May's rolling insight. It's a 13.
Alright. Performance or deception to be like, I'm normal.
Oh, this is more insight for Cal. With Cal replying, me being like,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, the 13.
Oh, Patrick, what would you say?
Performance or deception? I would say.
No, like,
are you
what-
trying
wait,
to
I'm not gonna
lie,
go
or are you
into
just trying to
favors,
like pretend it's nothing?
Cal's just silent. I think it would be entirely body language.
And what did May roll?
13.
Okay.
Oh, Mercy. She's just standing there T-posing.
Yeah. Mercy is like halfway in the teleporter. Like, are we going or? With a 13, I think you get like it's like a cat with its fur up of being like, Cal is deeply uncomfortable. You are asking this question and is very defensive and is not going to answer you.
Oh, May feels worse.
Okay, so we're just gonna wait for this dude to show up.
Cal's like crossing her arms and waving, and she's like,
Unless anybody wants to try the faulty teleporter or the faulty teleportation machine, I will wait for him and anyone else who wants to come with me. If you want to send out Sinner as a sacrificial lamb, go for it.
I would prefer not that option.
Hey guys, have you gone through?
Obviously,
I didn't hear
Not an
anything.
option.
I didn't hear you go through the teleporter.
Oh my god.
Forget it, Jake. We're taking an alternate route.
Shut it down? Okay, shutting
Yeah.
it down.
And there's a little polite knock on the door.
Cal's gonna like sweep, like not sweep the veil back, but straighten the veil, straighten her shoulders, and just like be like, "Okay, we're doing this," and walks to the door to answer it.
Jake is already like out of his chair, like on the way to open the door. So you have to like rush a little bit to get ahead of him and open it first.
Fish holds their arm out, like, do not cross this line.
The door opens and you see leaning on the door frame a kind of middle-aged looking man with hair that is graying a little bit, and he has a tulip in his hand, and he goes,
Jesus Christ.
"Hello, miss."
Hello, sir, Mr.
Alexander Remit at your
Oh,
service.
Not a cow reaction, just me.
Mr. Remit, yes, thank you. It is very urgent. Emergency with my friends at the sanctuary. If you could teleport me and my,
And she is doing a little bit more of an Elise voice.
me and my friends to the Canadian sanctuary. They'll be
Give
over
me
there.
a
like-
performance check.
She's pushing her tits together with her elbows, except because she's in a full robe. There's nothing.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't go anywhere.
Hold on, stick Kekano up there.
Nay is just looking at Cinna like, who the fuck is this guy?
11.
How can we help? How can we help this?
He goes, "Well, I am here to help. You know, the Reverend Mother didn't tell me I was meeting someone so beautiful, I assume."
Oh,
Cal is going
Assume
to go
away.
look over the shoulders, look over her shoulder, selling it, conversational whisper.
well, we are sisters, but that's a secret.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, the
We must
imagination
hurry.
runs
We
wild.
must hurry.
Oh, I understand. And he like comes to the door and sees everyone else, goes, "Oh, it's a party in here. I see. Very well. Let's get this party on the road, as it were, after you, miss." And holds out a hand for you. Strokes it a little bit. And if everybody else could hold hands, that would be great.
Fish holds out the hand to May as like sort of a, I'm not angry enough to never touch you again.
Which May appreciates. May very tentatively puts her hand in Fish's, and then, without looking at Cinna, reaches out to him in like a this is so chill kind of
Yeah.
way.
And they squeeze her hand, but not in a like, hey sort of way, but in a like, we're all in this together.
May squeezes back and gives them like a watery sort of smile, and is totally again just me and Fish. So it's totally fine. This is all normal.
Yeah, you feel a big hand
Yeah.
envelop yours. It's warm and a little dry, a little sandpapery.
Of course.
And Sitter just reaches out and like puts a hand on the teleporter's shoulder, and Mercy like grabs onto his sleeve as he's sticking the arm out. All right. Well, if you're ready to go, Miss, and others, we will head on out of here. Where are we going this fine morning?
It's the Canadian sanctuary.
Oh, I was assuming, Paris or maybe Macau or, yeah, the
Canadian
Canadian sanctuary.
sanctuary.
I can do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Everyone, hold on tight. And you disappear and reappear outside the sanctuary. You find yourself.
Is it in flames?
It is not in flames, but you
Is
find
Vulva
yourself.
a lamb chop?
You find yourself in the you find yourself in the kind of gravel drive outside the hotel. And things seem very quiet. And Alexander goes, well, all right. If you need anything at all, feel free to let me know. Here's my card, phone number, and
Mercy.
my well, I was I'm not sure if you're doing anything this weekend, but there's a lovely art exhibition that I think you would just enjoy, and yes,
Waiting for her to say something.
yep.
I will see if my schedule's open. Thank you, Monsieur.
Of course,
Fish
of
think
course, madame.
Fish does
Let me
this.
know.
Fish does this. Wide open.
Is this to me or?
No, to the guy, to the teleporter.
yeah.
The schedule is wide open.
Thank you. I got it. Yeah, thanks. All right, then I will hopefully see you soon, mademoiselle. And ducks and gives a little kiss on her gloved hand, and then teleports away.
We are never speaking of this again. Let's go.
Jesus Christ.
Fish ignores her and goes, "Oh, hey, Jamal." He's not there.
Should we do an insight deception on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
May
Oh,
leans over
that
to
was
Sinner
good.
and
I wish
says,
it wasn't.
May leans over to Sinner and says, the cleric has a boyfriend now. Really quiet, like, his name is Jamal.
Cleric has a boyfriend now. That?
No. His name's Jamal. His name is Jamal. He's a librarian.
I got a 23.
I got a 23.
Wow!
Which both of those being so high and meeting means that there was a split second where Cal believes it before instantly realizing what the problem is.
Yeah, Cal glances over her shoulder and then goes,
It's like, where? Oh,
off.
fuck you.
Yes, into the elevator. Unless Sinner has reaction to, she has a boyfriend.
That's really exciting. And a librarian, you said? I bet that's really cute.
I know, isn't it sweet? Maybe that sounded sarcastic. It wasn't. May was like,
as you're walking up to the hotel, he's like, so does he have the whole thing too, or?
no, and that's. I don't know what's going on. No, to be short, no, he doesn't. I haven't asked her about that yet. I think she would kill me if I asked her about that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, maybe we'll put out some feelers. Let's meet him first and kind of, it'll come up naturally. Wait a sec. There's supposed to be security up here, right?
Yes.
Do I see the necromancer car or anything like that?
Nope.
May's gonna roll Arcana specifically to see if like magical defenses are down.
Okay. And I'd say everybody else can roll perception to kind of get the vibe here.
Yes, I was
It's a
about to say
5.
what would we be rolling to make sure that there's no trap about to be springed upon us?
Yeah, perception.
Guys, this dice tower is not it. I've never rolled so badly in my life.
You don't have to worry about it being. You don't have to be worried about it being way anymore. It's a 21 for me.
Yeah, clearly.
Not one again.
Are we anywhere in Oklahoma?
You are approaching the hotel, and she's just along the side. You can see at least the corner of her paddock, and you can go look in on her very easily.
No, reach her from here.
Say what?
Can Kekno reach her from here?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. Cal will, while they're kind of like investigating, and Center points out that she will be, she'll turn to Kekno and be like, Kekno, ask if Wilma knows anything.
Okay. And he slides over.
This is Ink saying too vague. She's gonna be telling you like, well, the grass is nice.
Yeah.
Ink comes to Cal's mind. She goes about the inner workings of the sanctuary, why there aren't guards manning out here. If she's seen anyone leave, anything like that.
With a 5 Arcana, May is looking for kind of magical defenses. There's nothing out here, and so you assume maybe there's some more in the building itself, the hotel. You can see there does seem to be kind of like a magical charge running through the hotel, but what exactly that is, you can't quite clock. With a 1, Fish is like, this is the same as every other time we've come here. No problem. If there's going to be a problem, it's going to be down below. We're just walking straight in. Kekno slides over to Wilma's enclosure going, Wilma, I'm back. Hello. Do you have any stories to share? Did you see anything? Oh. Guys, Wilma's not here.
Fuck.
Good.
That's not nice, Dad. We've talked about this. You and Wilma just need to get along. You need to get to know her better. Feed her some flowers and grass.
I'm saving them for Isle when she gets back.
May's gonna nudge Cinna and say, Cinna, you're, I presume, more of a outdoorsman than I am, if only by a little. Do you see any tracks? Because I think his survival's probably higher than May's.
Maybe.
What did I get on my...
What was that? I'm about to tell you for the 21.
Oh, okay.
As Sinner leans down and looks around, he says, I see some tire tracks. I guess I think they're probably recent, but yeah, not sure how recent. And as he says that with a 21, Hal sees a car that the necromancers have been using. It has been pulled away into the woods behind the hotel and has been covered with brush to disguise it from the casual observer. And as you're looking around, there are scythes that typically patrol in the forest here, keep an eye on things, keep a cordon, and there is often, but not always, someone stationed nearby the hotel. You don't see anyone. Not in any of the normal places. What was that?
Can I death sense?
Yes. With a death sense, you don't get anything within the 60 feet.
Not getting any that I would normally be. That would normally be on the necromancers.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't. There's no signs. There's no security, which is not inherently unusual. It's possible that they're just in a different part of their rounds, or you also know that the sanctuary staff is really depleted right now because all of the scythes are out fighting a potential skirmish with this military faction coming from the U.S. And then Fish reaches the front door, and it's locked.
Ah. We can go in through the scythe entrance, though. Samuel Lee told me about it.
You can. You do know that you will get super in trouble if you do, but you certainly can.
Desperate.
Non-canon dialogue. Samuel Lee told me about it. I retained important information for once.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's Fish's suggestion.
It's also like it's a paned glass front door that's clearly more decorative than anything else. You could also just kind of like kick it in and get to the elevator. But yeah, it's locked.
Well, that was my suggestion, but if anyone wants to override my authority, feel free. I'm gonna go around that way, though.
Well, since I'm the lowest man on the totem pole, I guess my opinion doesn't count for anything. But I guess if there's a problem, maybe we'd be surrounded by scythes, and maybe that's a good thing, and maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know which entrance is more subtle, but
Is there not a window we can jimmy open somewhere?
with a 21 perception check, I think Cal is pretty instantly like, I mean, there's that window, but I don't want to climb.
I was thinking things are the one that they shut when Sam was trying to interfere in the date, and she'll be like, there's one over there.
All right.
Let's take the window.
This way then. Let's take the window. Sinner picks up a branch off the ground and kind of like pops it into the corner of the window in a way that bumps the latch open, and the window opens. It is fairly big. Sinner has to kind of squeeze and really contort himself to get through, but everybody else is fine. Cal's probably a little uncomfortable climbing.
On her fucking height, and somebody needs to give her a boost.
May gives her a boost. May like really like just goes over and like, you know, like laces the hands.
Fucking laugh.
Yeah, and just doesn't make eye contact, just does it. Like
It's down on her knees, like, I'm sorry, Queen.
yeah, literally
on me.
May just kind of goes like let me help.
And you pop that window and enter the hotel. Sound of the forest quiets. Hotel's seen better days. Starting to get a little dusty now with no one staying here. Clearly, Samuel Lee does not keep up with the maintenance like he's supposed to. Yeah, there's Samuel Lee's not here. The reflection staff that make up most of the actual hotel staff is not here, and you know, there's for fewer of them when the hotel was closed down, but they were still going around and cleaning and stuff. Nobody here.
Rancid vibes.
Cal's gonna just keep death sensing as they like walk to the elevator.
Okay.
Dekino, give a sniff sniff.
Kekino, give a sniff sniff. Okay. You don't really sense anything as you're getting to the elevator, at least nothing unusual. There's you know, you're getting bits of leather and stuff from various books and things like that, but no real remains. Kekino is sniffing and kind of cautiously sliding next to Cal as they kind of investigate and lead the way, and then you get to the elevator. Your passes in your hands still work. Elevator, ding, slides open, and doors rattle closed. You can head down into the sanctuary. Seems to still work.
As they're,
Honoring on. Sorry, Mooney, you go.
I'll say while they're going down, Cal's gonna do a quick tennis call.
Honoring my nat 1, Fish just hits the button and doesn't think about it.
Yep.
It's not like, oh man, are we gonna go down? No, ding.
Hello, sister.
I have seen the car that we've been using for transportation. It was being stored in the woods, covered up with branches. I can't get any signs of any of our fellows heading down the elevator into body of the sanctuary right now.
That is extremely concerning. I sent Brother and Harkin to speak with the sanctuary if he is not available or has been waylaid in some way. I'll need to speak with Pagan so we can act together.
I'll give you another report as soon as I have a moment to.
I understand. This is now a military operation.
Yes.
Walk softly, sister.
Yes.
Carry your shadows close.
Thank you.
The elevator doors open to find a well-lit sanctuary. Sounds of people in the distant hallways, regular office sounds, incredibly muffled here in the lobby, and sitting behind the counter, folded up, always seeming incredibly uncomfortable, but he doesn't seem to complain. You see Tops, the Kranga, as you step out. Ah, hello, detectives. Welcome
Hey,
back.
Tops.
I trust you had a successful mission.
Perhaps. Have you seen a cleric in Harkin?
Oh, and Harkin, no, I don't believe so. I haven't really seen anyone come this way recently. There's a little bit of a rattle and a thud that you hear faintly.
Cal's gonna look back at Mercy, and I think she's gonna look at Mercy to verify what Tops is saying is true, but also if she's getting bad vibes from Tops, she's immediately worried Mercy is like at her back.
You look back at Mercy, and Mercy is looking at Tops kind of like something's wrong and she can't quite place it. And her eyes are kind of darting around the room, like looking for something else that's off, like something to jog a memory of what's wrong. And Tops is like, and of course, Mercy, welcome back to the sanctuary. Yeah. Hi, Tops.
I'd like to roll insight upon Tops, specifically with the question, how symmetrical is this motherfucker?
I was about to ask, yeah. Is there any distinguishing feature of Tops that is usually on one side and might be on the other?
I would say rather than
Right.
I would say insight if you were trying to do something behaviorally. I would say it was perception if you're trying to do something aesthetically or something mirrored.
Investigation, possibly, could I argue?
Yeah, I buy that.
Okay. Investigation is 18.
You're looking at Tops. You're a little distracted because there's this noise in the background. Tops has his desk, and then you know that behind him there's like this little closet. You've never opened it. You've never been in there. But then to his right is like his little like personal space. That was where he kept his hats and such when you were dressing Kekino. You know, that's his little like private office, his little room there. And the noise might be coming from that office, just like a little bit of a thump and a scratch, and it's getting a little louder. And as you're looking between Tops and the source of this sound, Kekino goes, "Hello, Mr. Tops. That is a nice hat today. That's the one you lent to me." "Oh, yes, Kekino, of course." And then your eyes flick up to the hat he's wearing, and it's almost exactly symmetrical, but not quite. And that means you do see that it is on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So just a quick time out of ink thoughts. We heard noises in the sanctuary beyond. They all have to be fucking reflections. So we cannot take this man down here, because then we'll be swept upon by everyone who's in there, even if we've got Sinner. Like, that's fucked. Can't do it.
I think with being familiar with the space and the situation as you are, I think it's this kind of thing of being like, dealing with Tops is not guaranteed to get you caught, just because there is like this separation between the foyer and the rest of the sanctuary. But there's definitely a chance, especially if it's loud or if it goes on for any length of time. It's not like a guaranteed thing, like somebody's immediately going to walk around the corner and be like, "You stop that!" But it is also like people are definitely yelling distance.
Maybe we should just pretend.
Oh, maybe. But so no, I'll give my suggestion, and we as players can decide on it. Which is that we capture this mother, we capture him, and proceed it forward. Like, we switch the Tops that's supposed to be Tops back, but go forward.
Okay.
And we can capture him quietly because Fish has silence.
And I've got like arms of Hadar and stuff like that.
So yeah, Elliot, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, that could work. My question then is like, well, what are we going to do with Tops' reflection? Like, knock him out, kill him?
We're assuming that if
Melt him.
Put him in the office and take real Tops out and be like, pretend to be a reflection.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but then we'll kill the reflection, right? Because otherwise, it's just a liability waiting to be exposed.
Yeah, sure. He's a reflection. Is a reflection really alive? The moral conundrum.
Yeah, the moral conundrum. Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, May's thing would be like, we'll just pretend that we don't know, and like, but that, yeah, as a player, I'm happy to go either way, like, or anyway.
Here's the thing: Fish physically cannot blend in with a bunch of reflections because they have tattoos right here and not here.
Cal will.
Oh, true. True. May does have distinct scar and mole as well. That's a good point.
Cal mission.
Yeah.
Sinner does not have the most symmetrical face of all time, because he's got like a broken nose that like twists to the side a little bit and stuff like that.
I was about to say his nose is probably broken like this.
Yeah, he's probably better than May and Fish for that, but not a first string choice by any means.
Be the head reflection and capture the three of them.
Oh, Cal's the head. Yep. All right. Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Again, Cal can nail this.
Yes, the Cal reflection is like, hey, I've brought these guys in for processing. I don't think we'll do anything with fish though.
Yeah, so what's Fish gonna do?
Okay, yeah, because there can't be like in universe discussion of this. So Fish is just gonna go ahead with silence, like, oh hey Tubbs, how's it going? Approaching so that I can get a 20-foot radius that perfectly encapsulates all of us. Silence.
You cast silence. The noise.
That was
throughout
all
the
diegetic, by the way, because it is a verbal component, so they have,
Yep.
they have to say it.
You have to say something. As silence falls and blankets the room, the sounds outside disappear. You see Tops look at you, look at the others, and then spring out from behind the counter and go for you. Please roll initiative.
Yeah.
We're not going to go to a battle
Right.
map. But we are going to do initiative to see what order people act in.
Yeah. That's 5. May is still like feeling some kind of way and also distracted by Cinna being there.
12.
Cinna rolls with advantage on initiatives. I forget. 12.
Cinna mushes that little Spider-Man into paste.
Reaches out and crumbles him like foil.
um,
We're glad we brought Cinna with us now. Holy shit.
as
You were second guessing yourself.
I know.
Not to be mean. Not to be mean.
Patrick was like, you can take. Do you take it?
yeah, you can take him, or you can't. Either way.
Wait, while we're just having this moment, I cannot believe Cal's fucking teleporter thing worked. I was waiting to do that, and Patrick would be like, dumbass.
He got a natural 2 with a -1 in charisma. So
Yeah, well, we know where his
Not
brain
even
is
that
located.
part. The part that Cal was like, do you have a bitch boy teleporter, sister dear? And she was like, yes.
well, I mean, that was the repayment of a favor. It's not like that she can do this infinitely, but it's absolutely being like, oh my god, I use this favor, and then also Callie gets like someone to flirt with and maybe go on a date on. That's honestly just a win-win.
I'm just gonna say it. Elise has a Rolodex of bitch boys that she can pull favors
Yes,
with, and that's
correct.
that on that.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so Ellie left before I got oh no, she had 5 for her initiative. Okay. Fish
12.
and Caligulus.
Gosh, where did my dice go? I think I said 10.
10. Okay. Then Tops is first as
no.
As the long arms snake out and strike at you. Fish 1 wraps around your throat and is going to attempt to start choking you. That hits. Actually, no. You need to roll against me. Roll a athletics or acrobatics check. You need to beat a 19.
Okay. Well, without adding modifier, I already haven't, and I don't even think I have modifiers to athletics in the begin. No, it's a +1, but it's still just 11, which means
Okay.
nothing.
Tops grabs you, the long fingers snaking so far around the back of your neck that they like wrap around his entire fist almost, and you are being strangled. You are currently you're currently grappled, not restrained. You still have movement in your arms and legs. But while that does not do damage this turn, it's gonna start. And his other hand swipes out at the next closest person, which I would assume would be Cal. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think Cal probably came out pretty like guns blazing and was already pretty wary. So we'll say yeah.
Okay. Shoots out another long clawed hand at Cal, stabs her in the shoulder and rips upwards with a nat 20.
Cool.
So I'll roll damage for that.
What's a shoulder look like? No.
Sexy shoulder, bloody, very pale.
That is 6 damage.
Okay, that's fine for a fucking nat 20.
Yep. Tops is not a fighter, which is why he works in the reception. But yes, the fingers lengthen and stiffen, becoming sharp for just a moment as they stab into your shoulder, and as the
Total eclipse.
as
That was my
the
hole.
and as he does these attacks, he is also springing up and leaping from behind the desk. He is spinning upside down and sinking his feet into the ceiling, and is like climbing on the ceiling for a moment as he attacks. The next person to go is then Sinner.
This is what's been playing in his head since May called.
Yes. No. Sinner
Like a
was
predator drums.
sprinting down the freeway with this playing in his head.
Wait, is this scene? I'm imagining the bit of like Henry Cavill like pumping his arms.
Yes. Yes. Sinner is going to immediately run up and is first going to try to free Fish. Does not succeed. Takes a straight punch and like punches into Tops's arm, but it kind of noodles out of the way a little bit, a little gummy almost, and then he turns around with a left hook and goes right for Tops's face for a.
Baby girl, give me that fucking goodie.
Yep, that hits. Because, God, does he have a high to hit bonus. Okay, let me roll damage for that as May sees his gauntlets unfold onto his hands as he swings into action.
This is very Predator sort of music.
Yep.
Work.
That is 12 damage for that second attack as he just boom smashes Tops in the face. You can see Tops's silver fake nose flies off when you see the gross Kranga nose hole, and his top hat falls to the ground. Next to go is something else, and then Fish. First thing, it is entirely silent, but the banging and slamming you have heard, you can see the door to the office vibrating and then as it slams open, you see a disheveled, bleeding Tops come out of the side room, and all of you watch as he turns to try and shake something off the back of his neck, and you see a squirming pink worm-like creature fixed to the back of his neck. He broke down the door. That was his first attack, and his second attack. Yep. Cool. He gets. He's scrabbling at the back of his neck, and he's getting his claws into the worm a little bit, and he's starting to like dig, almost trying to dig to his own neck, and he's trying to shred this worm. That is Fish's turn.
Okay, well is it fair to say that they're too busy choking to have seen that?
I think you probably saw like the door open, and it's already kind of like getting a little black around the edges, and it's just like brain is like, ignore that stimulus, focus on not dying.
Yes. Okay, then Fish tries to they think that theoretically they could just simply lop off this wrist using their paired magnetic daggers, not for throwing but simply for chopping.
Yep. Okay, give me an attack roll.
1d4 plus 1, that is 3. Wait, that's my damage. I did the attack. I forgot the attack. I'm doing it. It's happening. Don't worry. Oh, 6. They miss.
Yeah, you are struggling to get the knife up to kind of cut a tendon, and you're just kind of waving your knife. You still have a bonus action if you want it.
Yeah, bonus action blasphemous darts.
Okay.
Which cannot
At fake
miss.
Tops.
Yes.
Okay. Roll your damage.
In his fucking face.
Right in his fucking face.
Okay. 1 dart does 4. 1 does 3. And the fat one does 7.
Okay, 14 damage. Just right in his face as he kind of like closes his eyes and put his head down to try and keep it from getting in the eyes. His arms are so long, he's not super close to you. He's like almost 10 feet away as he's strangling you. Just because he's like, no, he's not quite that far, but he's got a long reach to strangle you. Now that's the end of your turn. We're going to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Yes. Hold on, I have to locate. Where'd it go? No, it's fine, I found it. Okay. So when you get a nat 1 and
Yeah.
it's -1.
Yeah.
What's
It's
that?
technically 0. Yes.
Okay.
You cannot get negative numbers like normally. You can get negative numbers with modifiers on rolls. Yes. All right. With a 0. You take 3 damage as you're starting to get oxygen starved. You know it will get worse if you don't free yourself. This is increasing damage over time. Then that will be Cal's turn.
I will do a, we don't have any sort of map, but, a shadow sphere at,
Yep.
Reflection Tops, and is, yeah, we'll start with that one.
All right, sounds good. Give me that Shadow Spear attack roll.
So on. 11.
11. Does not hit.
Okay.
You
Is-
blast and just kind of get over his shoulder.
Is there a way for me to shadow wave both reflection tops and worm tops?
Yes, you would absolutely do damage to worm tops as well.
Ink is typing. I was about to be like, I can't remember how wisdom saving throws went with the worm. That was 1,000 years ago. Type.
Well, go ahead and let's do those saving throws.
Hey, wait for Ink to type. Ink in their fucking recording number being like, Mooney, you tried to do wisdom throws last time and it was so stupid. Oh. Alright.
All right, so we need wisdom saving throws. Up. Do this guy and this guy. What is your spell save DC?
14.
14. Okay. With a 15, reflection tops saves. Worm tops does not. Roll damage.
Okay, would that be sneak attack?
Yes.
And I will do non-lethal to tops and lethal to the worm if you'll allow me.
No, it's got to be one or the other.
I'll do non-lethal then.
Okay.
We can always step on the worm.
Yep.
Definitely prepared. Jesus. 14.
14. Very nice. 14 damage. You see Tops is a little hurt, but it looks like the worm caught at least some of it, and he's kind of like shielded his face and like try to curl up in on himself as he gets washed with this psychic energy, and he is still trying to like claw at the back of his neck.
Your hats look bad! Your hats look bad!
Yeah, it's just fashion critiques in his mind.
He
And
doesn't actually like you.
oh no. Oh, that would be devastating. Okay, it's Mercy's turn with May on deck. Mercy is going to what is Mercy gonna do? That's a good question. Good question, Patrick. You should have thought about it before now. Yeah, that's what she's gonna do. She is going to raise up her hands. You can see her trying to like do a spell, and it's not working. And then she like focuses psychically, and you see kind of like a little like beam just gossamer thin for a moment, connecting her and Reflection Tops. And Reflection Top starts glowing a little bit. Any of you can do a insight or arcana check to try to figure out what happened, but there is some effect on Reflection Tops now.
16 for Arcana.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I will do. Thank you. That is a 16.
Okay.
Fish is being strangled, so no.
Yeah.
Both of you see that this kind of like soft glow that is surrounding reflection tops. You don't see exactly what it does at first, but as Fish is flailing with their dagger to try to cut the arm, you can see for a moment that as the dagger gets close, it almost seems to be ever so slightly magnetized to Top's body, and it like gets a little closer. And Mercy has done essentially a targeting spell where the next time someone attacks, they get advantage.
Like,
Is that just physical attacks or like any attack?
Any attack that targets a person. But because of the silence spell, you cannot cast any spells that require verbal components.
Yeah.
All right, that was Mercy's turn. She does that, and then she like slides out slightly and takes like a peek to make sure the doors to the rest of the sanctuary are still closed, and then she comes back in and pulls her dagger. But she doesn't have a chance to use it yet. It is now May's turn.
Yep. May's going to use information overload. So Tops will need to make a intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence saving throw. You got it.
Oh, sorry, reflection. This is on reflection, Tops.
Reflection Tops. Okay.
Yeah.
Does a 17 save? Probably.
I'm really sorry, Patrick. You're going to have to remind me what I need to do to tell you that. Is it just my...
Spell
I'm sorry,
save
no, I'm-
DC.
16, so barely.
Okay.
Yeah.
17 saves, no effect.
Yeah, right. Cool.
Anything else? Any bonus actions or anything?
Nah, nothing I can do.
Okay. Then top of the round, it is Reflection Chop's turn. And he is going to take 2 swipes at Fish. Because Fish is grappled, these have advantage. Wow. Okay. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, Ink, but does a 9 hit?
You know what? I will double check because you never know. Oh no!
Had an attack roll with
that-
advantage
yeah,
and got a 6 and a 6.
yeah. A 9 does hit. I'm sorry to say for myself.
And then that is... Oh, also misses. Yeah, he is distracted by everybody coming at him. The blast to the face, he's still kind of shielding his eyes. He's just kind of blindly swiping, and you feel his, like, a claw, like, touch your forehead for a minute. You get, like, a little trail of blood, but he's just missing all over.
Just enough to be hot, not enough to be injuring.
Exactly. Sinner is then going to hit him twice, which is this. Okay. Forget how much damage Sinner does. Sinner comes in low and just boom, boom. Oh, actually, I didn't roll with advantage on the first attack. Let me see if it would have been a nat 20. No. And he just rocks Tops, and Tops looks like Reflection Tops looks like he's on death's door in this moment. You think maybe he's got 1 or 2 health. He is barely conscious all of a sudden. He actually, like, detaches from the ceiling and kind of like falls into a little pile before getting himself back up.
It's like when you
And-
spray a spider.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. And then that will be Slug Tops, who is going to miss. He is flailing and he's gotten on the ground and he's now trying to like smash the worm into the ground around him. That is going to be Fish's turn.
Now, I apologize because it sincerely did not occur to me in the moment, but Blasphemous Darts does have a verbal component, so we're subtracting that existed.
The 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can just back up. That's what, because like Cal's spells have a pretty good range, so I was just thinking she just backed out of the silence to hit.
They
Fish is
can't back up,
grappled.
they're being
Yeah.
strangled.
Okay.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah. No, I was
Wait, you
accepting that Cal like
Drag
moved
people
backwards,
around?
but yeah. Okay, we'll subtract that damage. Yeah. What do you do?
Fish wouldn't have admitted that. We're trying again with the head magnetic daggers, but this time to throw it, just like.
Yep.
But however, their aim is probably extremely off. I will roll to hit.
Yep.
That's a 17.
17 hits. Roll damage.
Damage. 3.
Okay, 3 damage. He's still looking pretty bad. He's not at death's door, minusing that blasphemous darts damage. He's still looking not good. Okay, give me your Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. 10.
10. Okay. With a 10, you get to make another athletics or acrobatics check to try to escape the grapple.
Okay. We will certainly do that. Another 10 for you.
Okay. Let's see what he gets. No, he got a 15. You're still getting strangled. You now take... Oh. Yeah, okay. You take 1 damage. It's a
That's
higher
a
die,
different-
but a lower roll. And that brings us to, I believe, Cal? Yes.
Let's shadow the spear.
Shadow the Spear.
Shadow the spear hog. Well, that's gonna not be it. That was a 8.
Nope.
Cool. We'll do another shadow wave.
Okay. Okay. This time it's the opposite. Slug Tops saves and Reflection Tops does not.
Okay.
Roll your damage. And this would also be with sneak attack.
Yeah. Uh, 15.
15 damage?
Yep.
How do you want to kill Reflection Tops?
God, well, she already fought a reflection with the Cleaver lady, so I guess she would probably just go something with the like psychic thing of like, you have no soul, you are nothing.
You see the reflection eyes start to shake and grow big. Their ears start bleeding as they feel this psychic scream, and then they release Fish and fall to their knees. Did you do lethal or non-lethal damage? I assume lethal, because that's always the assumption unless you specify.
Yeah, we'll go with lethal on the reflection.
As the reflection falls to the ground, you can see it slightly shrinks in on itself, and it's bleeding, which reflections don't typically bleed. And then as it's bleeding, eventually the blood runs out and a little bit of silver metallic fluid flows out of the ears. And now there is a corpse. Slugged Tops grabs the knife that Fish threw, digs it out of the other Tops's side, and tries to saw off the slug. Succeeds.
I was gonna say if it didn't, I was gonna say Cal's gonna ask Center to whip it out.
Yeah. Succeeds of like getting it unattached and injured, and then throws it on the ground. After which Center smashes it with a foot.
Yes, with his hooves.
And you are all staring at each other in this bubble of silence as Real Tops bleeds a little bit and breathes heavily, although you can't hear it. It's kind of fallen in a little bit of a tangle as well. Yeah, what do you do in this moment?
May's immediately going to go help Real Tops up.
Okay. You help Real Tops up. He stands to his full height for the first time you've ever seen, which means that he is like this below the ceiling. Because because he is so large. Although, entirely legs and arms. And he gives you kind of a shaky nod and a little pat on the shoulder. He snakes an arm behind his desk and he reaches out with a notepad and he writes, "Silence spell?" ?
Fish, if they're conscious, they shakily raise their hands to take
Yes.
credit for that one.
Mm-hmm. He sees that and nods, and then he writes down attacked. Assume the slug can't handle Krenga biology. Others were controlled, taken away.
May's going to open up magical telephony for everyone, and then say, "I think we should get rid of this body very quickly."
Do you include Tops in that? Because by default, he is not involved. He would have to like touch somebody else's.
Oh shit! Right, so yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. May will do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Cal would be investigating the body at this point, I'd say.
Thank you for saving me. That was uncomfortably close. Give me a medicine check on the body.
Fish says to Tops, when you say like who the others who were controlled, who were they?
Dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, this is reading as a dead body to your death sense, which reflections don't.
If the blood
you look, the blood is Krenga blood. it is not like enough has not bled out to like animate a Kranga body, but it is Kranga blood. And with a dirty 20 as your sensing the kind of pathways through the body, you realize this is Kranga blood that was made in this Kranga body. It is natural to this body coming from the bone marrow.
Jesus Christ.
This is, for all intents and purposes, a somewhat weird, mostly bloodless Kranga corpse. Tops replies, I didn't see it happen, only felt the ground shake and the lights go out for a moment. It was so fast. But I saw some of the staff taken away by others, by reflections. They stepped out of the mirrors and they took them and they put these creatures on some, and on others held them, bound them, and took them away. They weren't copies, not like reflections are. They looked different, except for my own.
Crown.
He's here.
Grand Crown, is he well? Has he
Okay,
been
I'm sorry.
attacked?
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me. Sorry, that wasn't me.
Well, Fish was going to ask anyway. Is Crown here?
I believe the Grand Mage was here last time I checked. Certainly, I haven't seen him leave. He was shouldering some extra responsibility.
I bet he
Elder-
was.
Elder Delore was called away for an emergency with the Society for Better Governance. And unfortunately, Elder Volite was the only elder in charge of the sanctuary. So the elder, as well as the administrator and Grand Mage Crown, divvied the responsibilities between themselves.
Where's Tone? In his office?
You know how the administrator is, always scuttling about. I last saw him in his office, but that was almost 2 hours ago now. I believe I was unconscious for some time.
Okay. Fish just generally lays out the idea that they're having to everyone, which is that let's split up to each find a person. One finds Tone, one finds Volate, one finds Crown. Whoever goes after Crown should be able to restrain him. So probably Sinner on that team. Just like let's consolidate all the power that we have. That is the idea that they're sharing with everyone.
Cal is gonna say, I should probably report into my abbot and just let him know that this is war. I can try to track Jamal. He very likely was captured, so if we need to figure out where captured people are being held, that would probably help us.
Well, the cells, right? They exist for a reason.
Our cell block can only hold, perhaps in a pinch, 20 individuals. I saw that many captured with my own eyes, and I assume there are more.
Did you see Jamal?
Mr. Tops.
I have not seen young Mr. Tractate, but if you will wait a moment, I believe this may still work. And he rummages behind his counter and he pulls out a very small TV with wires running to the wall.
That's what I was about to ask. Yeah.
And he clicks it on. It is static for like a long time, and then it gets to a very grainy live security footage of the inside of the sanctuary. You can now make like investigation and perception checks for the larger sanctuary, even though you're not in that part of the sanctuary. The cameras don't cover the chamber of the elders, of course, or the main meeting room, some of the larger offices, but the hallways are covered, and it seems to be a not good situation. As he's flicking through the channels, you see that the hallways are filled with people you don't recognize, all assumedly reflections. Um, as um, as you look, you don't see anyone immediately or obviously that you recognize or were looking for, but you can, of course, roll to do checks. Everybody, pick someone you're looking for, or pick like a situation you're trying to figure out, or kind of a lay of the land type of thing, and ask your questions and give me an appropriate roll.
May wants to figure out if Gof and maybe Crown as well are with the ampule machine.
Okay.
I hate this dice tower.
Yeah, just flicking through, looking for Tone, for Gof, not, yeah, just general.
Okay, I think those would be investigation checks.
I'll
That's
do
a 14 for me.
14. Okay.
Mm.
So you're searching specifically for around like the Arcanist workshop and the room where the machine was being built, and Fish is looking more like generally flipping channels, looking for people. With a 14, you know there is a camera in that workroom, but it doesn't seem to be part of this like main security feed. You do know it ran to the office of the elders, so they may have a private, more extensive security feed that's not like publicly available. But you can see the outside of the hallway out there and a little bit into the Arcanist workshop, and you can see no Gof, no Jaw. There is someone you don't recognize going through like the stuff in the actual workshop, maybe looking for something useful. And nobody seems to be outside the room for the machine. No guards, nothing like that. And the door is open.
May relays this to the others.
Yeah. Okay. What did Fish get?
19.
19. With a 19, you you are looking for Tone. You're looking for Crown. You're looking for Gof. You don't see Gof on any of the channels. You don't see Tone. But with a 19, you're able to kind of like check off places that Tone could be. You can see where the cameras cover and where they don't. And you know that the main administrator's office doesn't have a camera. The Scythe training and ready rooms don't have any sort of camera, and it seems like the Council of Elders chamber doesn't have any kind of camera. Those are like three big areas where Tone could be at this moment, where you're not seeing him. For Crown, you don't see him fully. but for just a moment, you see what might have been the trail edge of his robe and his shoes disappearing off frame in the direction of the Council of Elders room. Council of Elders suite.
Cal's gonna look because I think she's got her head in a sentimental place because she's thinking about Harkin and Jamal. So she's gonna be looking for where you'd be keeping people. So I assume one of the main feeds would be showing the cells, and then she'd also think of any other large rooms where you could keep a lot of people. I don't know if that's like the cafeteria or like the archive, but yeah.
Okay, that would be an investigation check as well. Go ahead and give me that.
What? Okay, that's a 26.
A 26.
Jesus.
Sorry,
Okay.
25.
25. You flick into the holding cells first because that seems obvious to you. You see that there seems to be some people in the process of creating like a makeshift barricade facing what you know to be the scythe entrance into the cells. The jail cells themselves are occupied by the same people that they were occupied before. It doesn't seem like there's any new like prisoners being held there. Is just a couple of the people that were there before, and you said, think, okay, well, large areas, cafeteria, the archives. You flip through. There's people in the cafeteria, none of which you recognize, that seem to be kind of raiding the food stores and seem to be taking it somewhere. And in the archive, there is doesn't really seem to be anyone spending any time there.
Jamal's just reading.
Yeah, Jamal's just reading.
They
No.
missed him.
Yeah, no, you don't see kind of anyone spending time in the archive, and you do the mental math and you realize there is no way to hold this many people or even a subset of this many people in like the major confines of the sanctuary. What could possibly be happening then? And you notice on one of the cameras the group of people taking food from the cafeteria. They're lugging bags and boxes of perishable goods. Where are they going? Where better to store food other than the cafeteria? You see one of them go up to a mirror in the hall, press on it, the mirror swings open. Behind it, you see the carvings of symbols that Fish has seen Crown working on for the security system. And then after a moment's hesitation, they push. A lever is flipped. A wall slides back and out. And you remember that the sanctuary, the physical location, was founded in the tunnels that Crown had found and worked out of. The tunnels that were supposedly destroyed in his accident, the tunnels that, well, only a small subset of the sanctuary takes up as these people disappear. If there are prisoners being held in one location, they're not being held in the sanctuary, but maybe they are being held nearby to it.
Yeah.
I really don't think we should split up. I'm putting that out there.
Also, I'm
Okay.
putting out here, I'm very sleepy tired, and Cal's
Yeah.
gonna start making really dumb decisions.
This is the end of the episode. We're gonna bring it to a close right here. As you're flicking through the channels, Tone is Tops is writing, and he shows the paper to May and the others. Did you find the ampule?
May just shakes her head. The less people that know this, the better. Like, what if he gets captured again? Like,
He
Okay, well, Fish was fully about to be like, yeah, oh, no. They don't say.
yeah.
No.
May's
Um,
like,
he was writing it down rather than doing it psychically, so it was more like a private thing to the detectives rather than bringing like Sinner and Mercy in. But he then writes again. I had hoped it would reverse whatever this is. Something very strong activated 2 hours ago. And May probably reckons with the fact they never considered what happened if the ampule went off before you found it.
fuck.
It made all those reflections flesh and blood bone people.
Flesh and blood bone people.
It.
And with that, we will close this session as we enter the final arc of season 1 of Well Dressed Bones.
It's still ethical to kill them, though.
Yeah, agreed.
Not a sincerely held opinion.
I was gonna joke, and then I realized Craig was still here, and I was like, I have to wait till Craig goes.
Yep, bye, Craig.